we had no machines, now we have nine. That is change, real change. Before 2005 there was no intensive care for Dominicans. Oh yes, that is change. That is change. They say they want change in this land, so we had to cure your sick healthcare plan. Yes, we care for the elderly, under 18, over 60, healthcare given free. Yeah, now the country's smiling again. They had to run away from the stress and no distress. Yes, the country's smiling again. Never again we'll ever experience that shit. Yeah, labor working, labor working, labor working, labor working. Change, real change. For years we couldn't fly out of the sunset. No, anytime it's Liat or Learjet, it's change, real change. West Indies cricket was only television. Now we see them live in the stadium. That is change, real change. The top hotels were only 4. Now we add a diamond from Morocco. That is change, real change. We used to host only at conference or hotel, but we stayed house all summer as well. That is change, real change. High rents were pain and confusion till Scarrow's housing revolution. That is change. That is change. Labor working, 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 labor working.
Dominica, you ready? Dominica, you ready? Dominica, you ready?
There's no turning back. No, 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 no. Nous jala, nous pas canadiens. Avancez, we advancing. Forward. We ain't going nowhere. Yes. Just because you bounce back and you're looking good, now they want to be in your neighborhood. Your economy on track, there's no turning back. Now they want to be in your neighborhood. The same people who hurt you for years, brought you so much pain and tears. Now they want to return again to bring you frustration and pain. Dominica, Dominica in red. I happy you happy, not blue. Nobody wronged you. Should try to take your dream from you. I want you to know you look beautiful, you glow. I shall never forget Dominica, the way they stress you with so much debt. I shall never forget the way they stress you with so much debt. Dominica, this song is for you, 'cause you're going nowhere. Hey, get them. Yeah, mama, something nice. Want to cause a divorce, saying change is a must. Now they want to be in your neighborhood. Children going to school, you look happy in red. Now they want to be in the neighborhood. In spite of how things are tough, your senior citizens taken care of. And you have some genuine friends on who you could depend. Dominica, Dominica in red. I'm happy you have much debt. I shall never forget the way they stress you with so much debt. Hey, do not mess with a ripping soul. I want to know, we are not regressing, we are advancing. I must say, forward. We're moving on. Get them. Appreciation come on through your van. Now they want to be in your neighborhood. You only like company sell for little money. Now they want to be in your neighborhood. Computer did always break down. Salary was always late in chong. From Lime and Social Security, they did tired. Borrow money. Dominica wanting you. Dominica in red. Joy girl from you. I want you to know you look beautiful, you glow. I can never forget, no, the way they stress you with so much debt. I shall never forget, Dominica, the way they stress you with so much debt. Hey, we are turning back your way. Avance, hey. Because you're looking nice, they think it's so. We're moving forward. Yeah, my. Numbers. Hey, give him. Donald, I wondering who shot who. Donald, I wondering who shot who. Get them. Galang dang dang. Galang. Galang dang dang. Oh boy. When you in a game, the rules remain the same. One team to lose, one team to win. If ever you lose, you go home and dress your bruise. Come back again in another game. Hey, Donald, you remind me of he. Donald, swear you both are family. When you storm the capital building, then inside your bunker hiding, it's the same thing Uncle would do. When you inside violence, then claim your innocence, it's the same thing Uncle would do. Hey, Donald, you brought back so much memory. Donald, it's like you're patterning and we. Same thing Uncle would do. When you block and burn it up, same thing Uncle would do. When you push and mash it up, same thing Uncle would do. Lord, Donald, I want to know who taught who. Donald, I want to know who taught who. Give me. Angalang dang dang, bang bang galang dang dang, bang bang galang dang dang. Lord, blaming world police in everyone business. Yes, you care police, you're stinking business. The world look with awe as you rage your war, and like a hacksaw, you hacked through the law. Hey, Donald, your planning was strategic. Donald, you make lawmakers panic, right? When you storm the Capitol building, then inside the bunker hiding, it's the same thing Uncle would do. When you inside violence, then you claim your innocence, same thing Uncle would do. Hey, Donald, you brought back so much memory. Donald, your pattern in and we. Same thing, Uncle would do. When you block and burn it up, same thing, Uncle would do. When you push and mash it up, same thing, Uncle would do. Lord, Donald, Donald, oi. I want to know who you know, Donald. Donald, oi. Donald, I want to know who, touch who. Give me. Angalanga, 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 angalanga. Oh yeah. Give me. If I didn't know, I would say you both bro. Same persona, crackers of fire, hiding in the back while you mob attack, and like a coward, waiting for reward. Aye. Oh Donald, you hurt your own people. Oh Donald, for that you are culpable. Oh Donald, when you storm the Capitol building, then inside the bunker hiding, it's the same thing Uncle would do. When you inside violence, then claim your innocence, it's the same thing Uncle would do. Aye. Oh Donald, you brought back so much memory. Oh Donald, it's like you take your pattern and we. Same thing Uncle would do. When you block and burn it up, same thing Uncle would do. When you push and break it up, same thing Uncle would do. Donald, I want to know who is who. Hey, Donald, I want to know who touch who. Done it. Bang gang galang dang laga, bang bang galang dang dai, bang gang galang dang laga. Lord, get them, still landing.
Yes. I'm right here in studio. I want to say a special good evening to all our many listeners listening in North, South, East, and West Coast of the beautiful Nature Island. It is indeed another Saturday evening right here in the Commonwealth of Dominica. I want to say a special welcome to our listeners in St. Lucia, St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Thomas, the U.S. Virgin Island. I want to say a special welcome to all the folks listening in Canada, and not forgetting the folks in the, of course, United Kingdom. Guadeloupe, Martinique, tout Dominique, moi les souhaite autres bonsoir. Yeah, man, it is no doubt the 10th day of July 2021, and want to extend a happy birthday to all the birthday folks celebrating their birthday today and during the course of this week. Of course, if you lost a loved one, want to extend our deepest sympathy to you. We know that there were a few families who lost their loved one during the course of this week. Mr. Curtis Augustus, of course, a union man there, yeah, very, very gentle guy, you know. Of course, suddenly passed. We want to extend deepest sympathy to his family and to all of his friends, and do hope that, you know, as they go through this moment, that God will continue to bless them and give them the courage that they desire to go through this moment. They want to welcome all the folks who are joining us on the Kyrie FM Facebook page. A special good evening to all of you, and always a pleasure knowing that you all are always there. So many of you logging so early. Want to say a special big up to you all. Of course, want to shout out our political leader and the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Dr. Skerritt and family, and to all of the cabinet ministers and senators and all the folks who are on the front line ensuring that Dominica continue to have zero cases where COVID-19 is concerned. I want to say a special big up to all of you, all the doctors in the PMH who are, of course, doing this wonderful job for us here in Dominica. Special big up to all of you, wherever you are, maybe on the train, riding or driving, or even on the airplane. You know, folks logged in to the next level, no matter where they are. Of course, it's already 20 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, and we're going to move right into your calls as we begin tonight's program. Good evening on the local line.
That's the mobile man, my brother. Good evening, brother.
Good evening, mobile man.
The rain is falling on all man house, my brother. I want to say especially good night to the political leader, Dr. Skerritt and his family, my brother.
Yes.
And Shikara Lockhart Hippolyte. That's my pirate in the Labour Party, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I love her.
Yes, man.
And the mobile man should pick me up to be in the house of the Labour Party And the mobile man is level power, my brother.
Respect to that.
Good night to her, my brother.
Yes, I.
All my listeners, to all my fans, my brother. They told me that Simeon positively when the mobile man speaking to you, my brother. They say, mobile man, you have a flavor, my brother. You always calling number one, and we love to hear you, my brother.
Yes, I.
I love and say good night to all the fans tonight, my brother. Simeon,
Yes, my brother.
my heart go to Desiree John. And Desiree John, you know, at good time I spend time with Patrick Rowland John, the first Prime Minister. We drink our wine and cake. I mean, Desiree, you know that? This is the mobile man, my brother. But Desiree John, I put it into you, my lady. I just hope that this man was on the Labour side. Forget his name. Help me out. That help. My name again, my brother. Earl Williams. I got no people, man. Earl Williams. I hope that Earl Williams, the disease has gone away, Mr. Patrick Rowland John. He never get to taste a bite of his money. My brother, she need the money immediately. Simeon, you on me on the line?
Yeah,
Simeon?
I'm following you. I'm following you, mobile man. I'm following you.
The my brother. The Labour Party Hillary Clinton say they're rejoicing. Of course the mobile man have to rejoice, my brother. He come and is saying he and that Nicholas John and that one man stand talking about their free food. Free food, free drink. And Labour Party should be rejoicing. He and Mass rejoicing. Our Labour, what do you expect, my brother? What do you expect me to tell you all, my brother? You think you'll be laughing me and send back the same bear to me? I'm happy, my brother. There is no case, no evidence, Simeon.
Yes, I.
And Leonard Clinton and he and his man Nicholas John and one man stand beating the case.
Yeah.
And they need our money to respond and the radio phone. You miss me. You don't get me in, my brother. When I was with you all in the incompetence, I was with you and I was hitting into the ball of the government that's still there. No, the mobile man is a winner. I letting you all know what goes wrong, come back around. You all miss me. You all say that was a damn mistake of me. My brother, it was a damn mistake of your virtue. And Simeon hit and secret lock up. He would pick me up. Desiree, I just only love Desiree. Desiree, let you stand. You is my secretary for tonight. You will get a bonus from that, Desiree.
Yes, I.
You got into a pile of Desiree. And I want to tell you good night to you.
Yes, sir.
Desiree Eggleston rolling the bits in the office in the Rover South.
Yeah, man.
Simeon, I have more to tell you, my brother.
Yes, sir,
But
mobile.
let me call back.
Yes, sir.
The mobile rejoicing. Hip, hip, hip.
Hooray. Yes, I.
Mobile man, how you feeling? Happy. Good night to you, my brother.
Yes, I, mobile man. I tell you what, you're a happy guy. No doubt. That's what Labour Party brings, mobile. When you join the family of Labour Party, you know, and not them crooked workers people there. Caller, good evening on the local line.
Good evening, Simeon.
Hi, good evening.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. God bless, yes.
I would like to say good evening to my pirate, Miss Lady D, and also to the Honorable Prime Minister, his wife, children, and family. Good night, PM. Have a nice night rest. And to Miss Danielle in Portsmouth,
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Leslie in Peebush, and also to Mr. Clarence, he passed there this afternoon.
All right, great.
And the rest, and Rosonoff, he always pass in and check me.
That's good.
Yes, and all my Labour right friends here and abroad, I would like to wish them a happy night rest. And Mr. and Mrs. Guada, good evening. Clayfa and Mary Diff, good evening as well.
All right, there.
Yes.
All right, you take care there, over there in Collie there. Good evening on the overseas line there. Caller, good evening.
Mr. Simeon, good evening, sir. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, thank you. Good evening.
Nazi man, babes. Enough respect to Mr. Mobile Man.
Yes, I.
Mr. Simeon,
Yes, sir.
No, I want Dominicans to understand why our great Prime Minister built that great wonderful wall at his residence in Mount Daniel. I would like the Minister of Security, Minister of Security. I would like to know, I would like you to investigate those people that had the drone many months ago over our Prime Minister residence. Let us see what happened down in Haiti. I believe 100% sure that drone, them fellas fly over the Prime Minister many months ago. I want the Minister of Security to investigate this matter properly, my friend, because we have to take that serious. So Dominicans, no, I want all you to understand what is happening. When we talk about the Prime Minister building a wall, a town wall, and this and that, or you see what happening in Haiti right now, I want to send my condolences to the Haitian community in Dominica and the Haitian people back in Haiti and the president's entire family. Mr. Simeon,
Yes, sir.
we have to take these things very serious.
No
And
doubt.
The Prime Minister cannot get complacent. We cannot joke by that because I live in America and my ears must be on the ground and I'm a street smart kind of guy and I'll be hearing things, you know. We have to secure our ports, our seaport, our airport, all kind of ports. Let us investigate them fellas that had that drone over the Prime Minister's house. We cannot take that lightly.
Yes, I.
Mr. Minister, let us investigate all these fellas, ring them up, and question that these fellas. Because I read something on Facebook there, you know, about all the Colombian ex-militants. They all over Africa are doing the same thing as they did in Haiti. We cannot bring that to ourselves.
Yes, I.
As we speaking now, the U.S. Secret Service and FBI, they Haiti from today. They're going to extradite these fellas back to America, you know. All these criminals that assassinated the president in Haiti, they're going to bring them guys to America because that's too close to American shores, the Caribbean. We have to investigate them fellas that had the drone over our Prime Minister residence, Mr. Simeon.
Yes, I.
We might be laughing today and having fun, but it is a very serious thing when somebody assassinates a state leader, you know.
Yeah, man.
Take that
Yeah, man.
serious, you know.
Serious
You
thing.
understand me?
Serious
I
vibes.
might have my wife in me, but I'm a very sensible guy. I'm a very street smart guy. Let us round up these fellas, Minister of Security.
All right, my brother.
God bless. Simeon, I love you.
Take
And
care,
God
man.
bless, and you guys too.
All right,
Love
man.
them.
Yeah, man, my brother. Yeah, of course. Yes, this week there, you know, that was just something else. You know, how the Haitian president there was just assassinated at his home. You know, it's just a serious thing. Caller, good evening on the local line there.
Night, Simeon.
Hi, good evening.
Bossy calling.
Yeah, man. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to ask a question.
Uh-huh.
The program for one set of people, because as if I hear one set of people calling and some other people not even getting chance to call.
Well, no, it's an open program. That's why you can call now and you can get through.
Okay, well, anyway, I would like to say good night to my PM.
Yes.
Whoever is right now, good night, and your family, and have a good day.
Yes.
Good night. Yes, enjoy the rest of your day, your night.
No problem. You too, my dear. Take care and thank you for calling. And feel free to call anytime.
Yes.
All right, there. Yeah, I know it can be challenging sometimes to get on this phone because, you know, so many people are calling in one time. Good evening on the overseas line there, caller.
Simeon,
Hello.
good evening, Dominica. I hope PM hearing my voice. I'm looking for 7 layers of security for the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica. The all-rounder is in the house.
Yes, I. Big up there. Yeah, man. Big up to the all-rounder there. You know, they always like to talk about our Prime Minister have too much security or what he doing. If security is necessary, you know, you just never know. And, you know, you can't take nothing for granted. Nobody come and try nothing there. Caller, good evening on the local line there.
Good evening, Simeon.
Good evening.
And how are you?
I'm good, thank you. God bless.
And how was your day?
Day was all right, you know. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to say hello to Fatma, my baby, Clefa, Meredith. And Simeon, listen to me good.
I'm listening.
You remember that say that when they win, they're going to give every household $25,000.
Yes.
So what is that? What do you call that?
That sounds like trying to bribe people right in the eve of an election.
Right. So Simeon, all of I want it, I need it, I want it now because the election is close, so they can campaign on it now.
But let me tell you that if you have a convention, you cannot go with people that speak out without a little music, right? You need something to blend the thing. Those people come, they bring their people in St. Joe, right? They have their best dance. Uncle take his best dance with Tazi. That is his best dance he ever had in his life.
Yes,
He
yes.
dance his sweat.
Yes.
Right? They bring their people in Carib Reserve. People go up. I mean, people want to see these people and they want to know who is that stuff. They have this CD, but they cannot, they hear this, but they want to know these people. So they go.
Right.
They go up Carib Reserve. They even sleep there because when the transport ready to go, they say they're not going on yet. They sleep in the place. Right? So we bring a little concert, a little thing to make people, to bless the place. Right? We're not selling food. We're not giving free food there. People bring their food to sell, convention and things. People buy food.
Right.
If they give you too little drink, you drink, right? You drink rum. That go up in your head. You bazudi. You vote for us. No problem. So what all you have to go and bring to court and say, yeah, but they bride all you. The other one saying, oh, labor, I cannot keep secret. Secret of what? The food full of your belly. Labor Party, people don't go out, you know, because Labour right not going out. People see it on TV.
Yes.
It's very few people that got elected, people going out.
Yes,
but
yes.
all workers, people going up. They're on crutches, they're on wheelchair, they go in because they want to support their party.
Right.
The Prime Minister, when Honorable Blackmore come and he'll do a little thing and then it will feel nice. The Senior Minister, he's making his calypso. Tonight, play that for us, please. The Prime Minister come, he's taking the mic, and he's skanking, even though his voice not good for that. I mean, not a calypso, but he trying something.
Yes, sir.
All you vex about that. Uncle try it thing once. All you vex about they tweeted bringing people to court for what?
Yeah.
Or you look like a bunch of papi show. Thursday night they stifle. Right? Thursday morning they could die. Wednesday morning they could die to hear them on the air. Lucky, let me tell you something. Look, watch your back way because they kill you. Have security. We want to kill them. We don't want them to die.
I know.
We want them to stay. We want Uncle to stay there because the branches, you have a tree and all the branches start to fall. They start to fall. He alone going to start. I mean, what is wrong with those people?
Yes.
They bring a little, those people, they are accustomed with blessing, people dancing, people enjoying their self. It has more workers there than labor rights.
Yeah,
and those people, they just désolé. I don't know what is their problem. They can jump high. They can jump low. They can touch the sky. They cannot do nothing. They will, because they're trying to see they're going to appeal the case. Let them go and appeal the case. Because the little money trunk, your trop, what it is in them they have there. Then he's stupid, he's not stupid. So they have him on as though, well, is the one that's going to help them. But I telling them, they cannot take out scary there. We're praying hard. And we pray and he have people behind his back.
That's right.
So Uncle can jump, he can swim, they can say how they want. Nothing can happen to him.
Yes,
they can step, they say they will kill him like the man they kill in overseas there.
They can't
The
touch him.
president,
Right?
yes. They say that are good to go. Blessing is one too. Blessing. They fool them with food. They never caught them with good food. They drink on the table. No, you want to bring to court. Tell them kill themselves if they want. Stifle all of them. Sing me a good night.
Yes, Oh, yeah. That's a good rhythm there. What a big up Mr. Monroe up there in Bellevue there. All the folks in Bellevue, good evening to you all. Mr. Boys, good evening to you. And Alan Bates, how are you doing tonight? But Flossie, good evening to you. Malafo, yeah, man. Big up there. Tessa and all the folks there. DJ Bones, my brother. And not forgetting you all there. Of course, Desi Sakafet, Ostel sir. Jet Boog. Good evening there on the local line there, caller.
My brother Simeon, how you doing?
Hey, my brother Oprah, I'm good. Thank you, and you.
I am there.
Talk to me.
Simeon, the joke of the week. I went to the concert, and when I get to my constituency, I did not even vote for myself.
You serious? You didn't vote? You mean you forget to vote for yourself?
But the blessing was too strong. The blessing of God fall upon me.
Yes, I.
And let me see that was the wrong thing I was doing, so I voted against my own self.
You mean the Holy Spirit had you going?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
But Simeon, what a joke. Nicholas George, a big former police officer like you, that you doing to yourself, man?
I know.
Come on, man. You go to the concert, and when you get back, you not even vote for yourself. But I think Honorable Catherine Daniel must make a pact to give Nicholas George.
Yeah.
Tell him, thank you very much, sir, for voting for me. And not for yourself. Because Nicholas saw that party is not the right party.
Uh-huh.
And he in the wrong church at the wrong time. so he taking our way, my pass sort zone, my vote for Catherine Peter Papa.
You vote by Labour up where you turn Donny McCucklin?
Wait, man.
Well, the spirit was strong on them, Papa.
Very, very
that
strong.
was Labour power.
Boy.
This,
yeah. My God. So, Senor,
uh-huh.
all them labor rights that go down to Eton and St. Joseph,
uh-huh.
they're not for workers.
It seems like Eton didn't have the Holy Spirit as strong as us.
Definitely. And all those who go up to Carib Reserve when they had that guy in Carib Reserve, he wasn't too strong, man.
They need to bring some spiritual people, man. Some godly, serious godliness among them, man. And show more love among themselves, man.
Definitely.
Yes, I.
So the night of that concert at the stadium, his party was somewhere else. So he's not going to his party, so he saved Labour Party instead.
It looks so.
Oh boy, that's to show you Labour Party is the best party for Dominica Senior. Have a good night.
Thank you, my brother. Them fellas, they're full of lies, and nothing else. That's why you see sometimes they always have to fail in everything they try in the courts, because it's just lies alone they bring on board, and hoping that they can get, the system to favor them. But it is evidence, that they're speaking in court. I heard them on Thursday night speaking absolutely a lot of nonsense about, about this whole matter there in the court that they have lost. This week there. Caller, good evening on the local line. Good evening. Caller, you're live. All right, we seem to have lost this caller there. It's already 8:30. The time is moving up so quickly there, as you know. It was another big week there for the Dominica Labour Party, as we got the DPP struck out. Yes, this matter there being brought against, our Prime Minister and Cabinet Ministers for 2014 general election, which the opposition claimed they did not lose. It was, their favorite word? It was stolen. Caller, good evening on the overseas line.
Hey, good evening, Timmy. How are you? Smiling. I like that smile.
I am good, and you, my dear?
How is your family?
Family doing great. God bless, yes.
And your week was okay?
Yeah, I had a great week, hard-working week, and I rested well today for tonight's program, so I'm not tired.
I can see that on your face, my brother. And Mommy Prayers are doing wonders.
Oh, thanks God for Mommy Prayers.
Oh, what is your name again?
Who is that?
Man, good evening.
Oh, Mobile
Man does really get me cracking and going. Mobile, this is the power of labor, okay?
Yes.
Labor is all about love. And it have those Simeon. When they're in the realm of the spirit, they must get converted. You understand? These people there, oh my God. I never know, before independence, when they don't have a cut story, we get an early cut story in. We didn't have it last year for a long time.
Uh-huh.
But we get it in, what month we in there? June. Independence coming June for me.
Yes, we in July now.
Yeah, me say quick quack. Huh?
In July now.
Yes, it's in July. Yes, 1 year alive? Oh my God, Simeon. I'll be listening. That's wicked. That's bad and wicked, man.
I know. Yeah, man. Anyway, take care there. Over there in St. Martin there on the local line. Good evening to you, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, you hear me?
I'm loud and clear, my brother.
I don't want to let go Senville, because I want to place 10 bags of fertilizer to put in my planting and my bananas. Don't let go Senville. Don't let him go, because I come down and get 10 bags of fertilizer. And
you mean you ready for him to pay?
Yeah, let them pay. They're too damn rude.
I know.
Right.
Yes, I know. They need to pay some damages there. I hope there is some damages that they have to pay for having, gone before the court with this matter there. No doubt, one that they seem to. I heard the opposition leader talking about wanting to appeal this matter, and I don't know what there is to appeal. I mean, there comes a time when a man have to accept that he was defeated. It's simple as that. You can't lose 3, 4 times, 5 times and want to still be. I mean, come on, man. UWP, grow up, man. Call a good evening on the local line.
Good evening to you, my son.
Good evening, mommy.
By something not right on the program now. It's cracking up.
You getting some cracking up on your radio?
Yeah, I think I have to call you back. I don't know if it's my phone that's doing that.
But I hear you properly on my side.
Eh?
I'm hearing you.
Can you hear me
I'm hearing you properly.
But how come it's cracking up like that? I cannot hear you.
All right, mommy. Well, you have to try again.
Back.
Okay, mommy. Yes, I. All right, mommy. Phone they're cracking up there, so I guess she can't give us the prayer there at this point in time there, so she says she'll call back. But, as I said, it was quite a fascinating week for us here in Dominica, and with this case here, it's been an ongoing battle there. Let's see if that's mommy there with the prayer there. Good evening on the local line.
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a little better now.
But you're clear on my side, mommy. So just give us the prayer as we open up.
Okay. So everything was good with you for the week.
Thankful for that, mommy. God bless, yes.
Wish you and all your family God continued blessing, guidance, and protection.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And I claim that precious blood of Christ Jesus. Without the blood of Christ,
yes,
we are nothing. His blood that saves us. His blood to give us life. So we have to give thanks to him and claim his blood always upon us. So I wish you the best and God continued blessing.
Thank you.
To hold your hands and walk with you through the darkest night and the brightest day.
Mm-hmm.
And continue that fantastic job that you're doing in this country to save the government and our country.
Indeed, ma'am.
Let's continue to pray always.
Always.
So I said good evening to my Dr. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, his wife, his children, all the ministers and senators of the government. Be not afraid of the terrors by night. Be afraid of the Father who gave life and light to the whole world, who can take both body and soul. Man will take our body, but not our soul. So give thanks to the Almighty, always my Prime Minister. Lay your burden down in his hands. No weapon that form against you shall prosper, because God is in control. He chose you to be the leader of this country. And no weapon that form against you. They can come with all their shield, their battle, and everything. We come in with our shield of faith, our helmet,
mm-hmm.
and our gear. Mm-hmm. In the name of Jesus. The Bible and the Word of God. That is what we need mm-hmm. to fight those arrogant and bully outside there.
Yes.
They want to kill you and your family, but they will not.
True.
God gave you life. He gave you to us to be the leader, and you're going to continue the mission for the Lord in this country.
Amen.
So I claim that most precious blood of the Lamb of God from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. May He continue to hold your hands and walk with you throughout the darkest night and the brightest day. And I call in on Holy Michael, the Archangel, powerful angel in heaven, who drove the dragon and his bad angel down to hell. I call in on him in the name of the Father to direct your path, Prime Minister, to protect you from the hands of the evil one. I pray to Holy Michael the Archangel, defend you in the day of battle. The UWP and those enemies of the state plotting against you, the Prime Minister, to destroy you. But I call in on Michael the Archangel, the most powerful angel in heaven, to defend you in that day of battle. Be your protection and guard against the ways and the wickedness of those devils. May God rebuke them, I humbly pray, and do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, drag down into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowling through this country, seeking the soul of the child of God and the other children of God in this land. May Michael the Archangel defend you. May he protect you. May he direct your steps. And may Christ Jesus continue to hold your hands and walk with you and your family through the darkest night, the brightest day. And that blood of Christ, he gave it freely for the whole world. And I claim it from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. And continue to pray to the Lord every day. Claim that precious blood of Christ Jesus, my Prime Minister. Anoint yourself in the name of Jesus. Pray always. Give him all your problems. Do not go anywhere. Go to the altar and place your problems at the foot of the cross. And the Lord will see you through in faith and trust in God. Do not doubt. Don't be like Peter walking on the water and look down. Keep your head above the waters and continue to pray.
Amen.
And ask God for his protection, his guidance, and his direction. And everything will be all right.
Thank you,
all
ma'am.
the ministers, all the senators, please continue to work and continue to pray to the Almighty. He is the way, the truth, the life. No man cannot stand before God, no matter what they try. Anyway, I'll call back later.
All right,
God bless
Mommy.
all of you.
Thank you,
Continue
ma'am.
to pray, continue to hold on.
Indeed. Thank
Okay, God bless.
thank you, Mommy. Thank you for your continued wonderful blessing and prayers. And, you know, we are not like the others. We always welcome prayers. When you have an 80-plus year, you know, senior citizen praying for you, nothing cannot touch you. Thank you, Mommy, for your blessings. Let's take this call there before we get into our discussion there on the local line. Good evening.
Okay, Simeon, I suggest, boy, a prayer like that, boy, we need to record a prayer like that to have it repeated, boy.
Yes, that was a powerful prayer there.
That prayer like that, we need to have a prayer like that repeated, my brother. Anyway, it will be up to you.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about the situation in Haiti. We briefly.
Go ahead. You have a minute for that open back.
Briefly.
Right ahead.
I'm worried, Simeon, because the question is our prime, can this happen in Dominica? Can something like that happen in Dominica? I'm thinking Haiti is much advanced and insecurity and stuff is than us. So if it can happen in Haiti, I think it's a piece of cake for it to happen here. So the point is, Simeon, we're going to have to step up on security. Why?
Well, you just cannot take nothing for granted, and that's why when people comment about the Prime Minister's security, I say, my friend, this is the head of our country, and we cannot take chances.
Myself, without tripping you, I myself at one point checking, but with a while. The Prime Minister don't need all that security. Who can hurt him? Me? Because, I mean, we there for him, we there. But, Simeon, when I look at what had happened in Haiti, there, my brother, my mind changed. I'm okay, right now, I'm telling you, we need to step up on security.
Yes, sir.
Can't put something like that to take place in Dominica.
Yes, sir.
Of course, advocate for a clean sweep.
No doubt.
In election. And, thank you.
All right, my brother. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. All right, thank you for your calls there. It's always a pleasure having your calls there, and I look forward to hearing from you all. I want to shout to the folks in the east coast of the island there. I know it's raining, and you all usually get quite a bit of rain up there. Desi, how you doing tonight, my brother? Desmond James and family there, out there in Victoria. And, of course, Mr. Etienne and the Etienne family there in the list there. Yes, Mike Etienne there, Mr. Etienne, is one of the most senior people living now from the parliament. I remember Patrick John there. Patrick John, yes, is now deceased there. And Mr. Etienne was part of the administration at the time with Mr. Frank Barron and all the rest of them. Interestingly, I was speaking to his son, and he is the only one who is still there around, coming from the days of Mr. Leblanc when they were running this country back in the days. Yeah, man. PJ, Mr. Etienne, Mr. Frank Barron, and all of them were all together there. But he's the only eldest one there, and he's still alive there up there in Daly's there. So we want to big him up and big up his family, and ask God to continue to bless him and guide him. You know, I mean, he has served this country as the people of the East Coast. The Honorable Kent Edwards, how you doing there? Of course, all the folks in La Plaine and Bodica there, and not forgetting the good folks in Grand Fond and Moanjon, and Kelsey Bruce, how you doing? Tonight they want to shout out the Pal Rep there, and to all folks there in the Kalinago territory there. A special big up to you all there in the Carib territory. Of course, the folks in Penville and Vegas and the north of the island to carry Benz Ans de May, Sakafet there in Wesley and Marigot. How are you all doing tonight? I want to shout out the folks there always listening there in in Reggie's constituency. Reggie Sakafet Gassa, our senior minister there. Nobody can touch him. Always serious closing batsman there on the next level. But as we begin tonight's program there, of course, want to touch a bit on this week. As you know, this week was, as I said, another big news this week with the case being struck out by the DPP, lack of evidence. Something that we have spoken about on numerous occasions about the opposition not presenting any evidence in the matters that they have presented over the many years when we have gone before the court, having to deal with issues of treating and bribery, something that they have brought before the court so many times and have all lost all of these cases. I had no doubt that this one was going to turn the very same way, even if they were peddling it. And, I heard the leader of the opposition and all of his acolytes there talking this week, and, Hector John, I mean, come on, saying some kind of things there, trying to blame the DPP for them not presenting evidence to substantiate the matter that they brought before the court, and that's one of the things about the UWP. They try to blame someone else for their failure. You didn't win the elections, period. I think at this time, when the people of the country said to UWP that we wanted Labour, obviously Labour came. 5 years passed. Labour came back and called election. Labour won 18 seats. The UWP still cannot decide that they are conceding defeat to this day. You had a last election where the first umpire said, all out. They still don't agree. Then you had the second umpire said that the election was free and fair. The opposition still not agreeing to that. You also had, the observers who came in, they all looked at the result of the election and concluded that the DLP had won the election. It was free, it was fair. The people did what they wanted to do, not by any force, but by their own wish. And somehow the opposition still not accepting that. They went to court with the matter. They have been challenging it. They've been trying everything. Now they got to the point where they were asked to deliver their evidence. Well, we heard what happened some weeks ago when Mervyn John Baptist decided to call Lennox Linton, obviously asking him for assistance because he was going into a matter where he felt they were not ready, period. Those were his words. We were not ready. And they were not ready because having brought this matter before the court, not having the evidence to sit upon that they could present before the court, not even having the lawyers that could defend him before the court, he felt that, this was a very serious matter he was entering into and decided to bail off. So he bailed off on the opposition at the point where they were asked to present their evidence. And so it left them now to go to present their evidence. And obviously the DPP asked them to, what evidence do you all intend to rely on? The DPP took over the case. And the next thing you know, we get the news this week that this matter was struck out of the court. And so there is no case now. So the opposition now, leader talks about, well, there is another course of action that can be taken. And that one he's talking about is appealing. Now, what is there to appeal? Why don't Mr. Linton just accept once and for all that they were defeated? Obviously, his name is not on the case. Hector John name is not on the case. But I heard Hector John say something. I want to play that for you. This is what Hector John said. Yeah.
The DPP was forced to nolly-pros to discontinue the matter. A month ago, or maybe a month or 6 weeks ago, Prime Minister Skerrit was saying, where the evidence? They don't have any evidence. But a month ago, evidence was disclosure. You had to do disclosure, and you made the evidence available. From that time, they realized they're between a rock and a hard place. So the only way out was to bend the hands or break the hands of the DPP, force her into discontinuing the matter.
Hector, nobody no force the hands of the DPP. All you had to present all your evidence. And what rock, hard rock? The only people that form themselves between a hard rock is UWP. You know, they didn't have anything to do with that. My partner Clarence is there. Clarence, man, good evening to you guys.
Good evening, Simeon. Good evening to all the listeners. Good evening, Mr. Clifford Wallace down there, my very good friend. And warn your son with me. Tell him, do not go and carry tales on me. That was just a joke. Yeah. Good evening to my folks in Fort Saint Jean, Bagatelle, Pichelin, Ako, Arrow, Culture, all these guys up in Fort Saint Jean, Bagatelle, Pichelin, Bellevue Shopping. Special good evening to you. Good evening to my neighbors in Dolphin Cove down there in Salisbury. I know who listening. Special good evening to IL and Mael. Hope all you doing okay under the rain. Special good evening to you in Point Michel up there. Simeon, basically, the United Workers' Party did not have any evidence. They knew they did not have evidence. What they produced as evidence, Simeon, and they said it on radio, is the advertisement of the concert. The concert, the recording of the concert itself. What Prime Minister Skerrit said at the conference, what Donnie McLaughlin said and wore at the conference, this at the concert. Nobody disputed the concert happened. But if I am wrong, to prove treating, you have to prove that persons who would never have voted for you were so convinced with food, drink, and entertainment that you give them specifically to corrupt them, to change their mind, to vote for you. That did not happen. They could not produce that. So when they could not get anybody to come and say, look, I was any ordinary person to come and say, look, I was convinced, corruptly convinced, to change my mind to vote for the Labour Party, because otherwise I would not have voted, or I would have voted for the United Workers' Party. Guess what they did? They had 6 of their stalwarts, their activists, major activists. Jawanza Stewart, Linworth Mitchell, he called himself, he has a nickname, Mr. Licks. Huron Vidal of Bioche, and a Mona Charles, originated from Calibishi but residing in Marigot, and Simeon, and a candidate of the United Workers' Party, Nicholas George.
So Nicholas saying that he was...
So basically, by implication, all those guys were saying that they were so convinced and so corruptly influenced at the rally or at the concert of Donnie McLaughlin that they did not vote for their party, they voted for the United Workers' Party. They voted for the Labour Party.
Let's say a bit of how Linton reacted to the issue of the evidence they had.
The statements from the persons who attended the concert told us very clearly in evidence that these expensive international entertainment events provided to Dominicans for free were intended to pamper their appetites for quality musical performance and thereby induce them to vote for the candidates of the Labour Party. So on two grounds, on the question of the fact that the entertainment actually happened, there's an abundance of evidence. On the fact that it was provided with the corrupt intention of corruptly influencing people to vote, the evidence there is overwhelming as well. And these are the basic elements that must be proven in the treating case. And the DPP says she has seen absolutely no evidence that warrants prosecution or supports conviction. And we have said already that Ray Charles, with double black glasses, has communicated he did see. He did see.
But Simeon,
he might say Ray Charles could see the evidence, but
Simeon,
no one else could see.
It's only probably they are blind because it's only, how comes it's only 6 of their main activists? They said the witness who were there, you know. So he is saying the 6 witnesses I called,
yes,
they were at the concert.
I said by a bunch of jokers.
They were at the concert.
Yeah, I don't know how it's
and they were so corruptly influenced that they voted for the Labour Party. So Nicholas George, the candidate of Collyho, who signed his witness statement on the 12th of May 2021, Lennox Linton is saying in this program, I'll tell you not in this program, that George, and George himself by implication, is saying that he did not vote for the United Workers' Party in Collyho, a constituency that he was the candidate. That is what they are saying, you know. Huron Vidal saying that he was so convinced and so corruptly influenced at the concert that he did not vote for the United Workers' Party. He voted for the Dominica Labour Party. And mark you, they're saying they were at the rally, at the concert. But the very same day of the concert, United Workers' Party had a function somewhere, I think, in Grand Fond. The very same night.
But Clarence, you and I know, without going into all these details, that what these fellas presented was nothing to convince anybody that they were treated. I mean, these weaknesses that the opposition presented were weakness people who, I mean, are on the radio. They are campaigning against the Labour Party.
Blessings.
They are vocal. They are not just silent people who are quiet. And, you know, these are people who you look at, you listen to social media, you follow the programs on the radio every day. They're the ones there calling for uprising, calling for overthrowing, calling for doing things by any means necessary. They are all party to all of this. You know, I mean, for them to come there and present themselves at the last minute as witnesses in a matter that no doubt, you know, no one's going to believe them. I mean, they didn't have nothing. The fact is that the opposition didn't have anything. And you heard Linton there talking about, you know, what they presented and who corruptly and what corruptly. The fact of the matter is the opposition did not have absolutely nothing that they could rely on. And they talk about, the matter should be allowed to go to trial and the DPP should not have done this, not have done that, is absolute foolishness. And I heard Nicholas George, you know, make a statement. A man who served as a former police officer, having served in the force, you know, I felt that he should have some discipline and understand things differently. Made a statement, and I want to play that for the listeners. Yes, that's what Nicholas just said about this matter this week.
I want to say, I've said it before and I'm saying it again. This denial of the citizenry to justice in Dominica through the institutions set up to bring justice to the citizenry will result in the citizenry taking their justice. They will take their justice. They will gain their justice. They will decide and define their justice. When they do that, it will come in direct confrontation with the laws of Dominica and the people enforcing the law. It is in the view or the mind, maybe in the view and the mind of the chief of police, that he has sufficient police officers to suppress an angry people. He has sufficient firearms and ammunition to suppress an angry people. And therefore, the political directorate on Roosevelt Skerritt's side are seemingly dependent on that force. I am warning. There aren't sufficient police officers and sufficient firearms or ammunition to suppress an angry people if they rise when they feel that they have no recourse but to take action to bring justice to themselves, the citizenry of Dominica, and the nation state of Dominica. I am saying to the chief of police, this is a question you asked me, now is the time to make an assessment of the political heat that is in Dominica.
No, I find that statement to be, very, I mean, coming from Nicholas George, who served as a police officer, I find that statement to be a serious statement. I mean, he may take it however he wants. He say it loosely on the radio, that when he talk about the heat and all these kind of statements that he made there on this audio, I think Nicholas have to rethink about what he's saying, because we are a peaceful nation. They have to. He has joined a political organization that have been calling for war in Dominica for a number of years. They tried that in the previous election. Prior to the previous election, they burned this country. They did a lot of things to this country, and to come now and Nicholas George and to make that kind of statement as if some heat will come up somewhere, and it's like some kind of action will be taken by people when they are, you all go to court with things you all know you cannot win. You all are the ones that are trying everything possible to seek to entice people into violence. When all you finish and all you try to remove all yourselves from it and say that you all are not a party to it. So don't come there with that kind of talk, Nicholas George. You understand where I'm coming from? Don't come there with that kind of talk. We don't want that kind of violence to be encouraged or people to be encouraged into that kind of act. We know the UWP is very famous for doing that. They have done it in the past. That's why, over $2 million worth of burning took place at the Douglas Charles Airport, because the leader of the opposition encourages people to gather there so they could prevent our citizens from coming into Dominica to cast their vote. That is one of the reasons why over $2 million worth of assets were burned there. Yes, nobody was brought to justice for it, but it have to be said that it was those who were encouraged to go there for the purpose of denying the citizens of the country the right to come down and vote. Hence the reason why this fire was burned there. We all remember what happened back in February 2017 when the leader of the opposition went on a platform and said to the people that they had more power than the police or more power than the people in power, and that they should take the law into their hands, and that they should not listen to the police, and that they should not listen to this. And Coolwash Barry will come down like rain on the police. We saw the people went and firebombed the police. We saw the people destroy private and public property back then in the city of Roseau. But when they put the leader of the opposition before the court, he claimed that them wasn't his people. Because, those people came out from wherever and they were not his people. He tried to deny that because they like to encourage people to be in those kind of action. I want to bring in my brother, Senior Counsel, on the line with me. Let's see if I get my brother there, because I need him to weigh in on this discussion that we're having here tonight.
Hey, give him Donald, I wondering who shot Donald, The rules remain the same. One team to lose, one team to win. If ever you lose, you go home and dress your bruise. Come back again in another game. Hey, put on a lieutenant. You remind me of.
Yes, it is no doubt another interesting night, as I said, on the line with me, Senior Counsel Anthony Asafan. Senior Counsel, good evening to you and welcome, brother.
My brother, good night to you and to Clarence and to all your listeners.
Indeed.
Good night, Tony. Good night.
Yes, yes, I see. I see. It's been another interesting week there for us. I know that you have been on the battlefield there with the opposition for the number of years there with this treating matter there that have been back and forth. This week we heard of an important decision by the DPP to strike out this matter, but we have been hearing all sorts of language being spoken by the opposition. Tell us a little more, Senior Counsel, on this matter.
Well, you know, I think these fellows are suffering from a significant dose of delusion. You know, I mean, I listened to the clips you started playing from the time you started discussing the issues.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are delusional, or they are deliberately fabricating issues and facts to create chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's all that I take. Take for example the last statement you played by Nicholas George.
Yes.
In any other country, Mr. would be in the cell right now tonight, under interrogation or interviewing for these dangerously insane statements that he just made.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Danger, and I've listened carefully to some of the clips that were sent to me yesterday.
Yes.
And I listened to the clips you played tonight. There is a deep-rooted conspiracy taking place in Dominica right now with Lennox, with Park George, with Nicholas George. All of these fellows are in a deep-rooted conspiracy to lie and to deceive the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to deal with a few issues. I think you have some of the clips there, right?
Yes, indeed.
I want to play the clips where they were talking about I had asked the DPP to intervene before the judgment of the CCJ.
Yes. Let me see if I can get
You
that.
have it close by?
Let me work on it for you in the meantime. Yes. Let me get it locked up there.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, right? I have the transcript before me of the part that they put into evidence. And for the record, I never approached any director of public prosecution, whether the substantive holder or the acting DPP.
Yeah, see, can I just play that for you now? I think I have it queued up there.
Yes.
Let's just get it there.
Mr. Astafan, when asked by one of the justices about an approach to the Director of Public Prosecution in Dominica, he said, no, we've never approached them. That's a lie, a big fat lie. By a senior counsel before to the Apex Court, the Chief Justice, the Caribbean Court of Justice. He gets away with it.
Yes, Senior Counsel.
But these fellas are mad.
Mm-hmm.
These fellas are completely mad. And they're laughing at their own lies. That's the funny thing about it all. In fact, that's the dangerous thing about it all. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Comrade, during these submissions, let me just set the record straight. I never asked any DPP prior to the delivery of the judgment to intervene. And there's a good reason for that. Intervene. Why? Our case was, and it was an important constitutional point and an important point on the electoral jurisdiction of the court, that we felt, all of us, all the defendants, all the lawyers, that should be dealt with by the highest court, Dominica's highest court, which is the CCJ. If we were not concerned about jurisdiction and we wanted the DPP to intervene, we would have done it after the decision of the Court of Appeal. because we lost in the Court of Appeal.
Mm-hmm.
So I was asked during the submissions, right? During the submissions by Justice Barrow, is it within the competence of the Director of Public Prosecutions in Dominica to discontinue prosecutions by a private citizen? I said yes. Justice Anderson, I am very keen on that question as well, and I thank my brother for asking it. Thank you very much. Astafan. Well, you see, the problem might be, Justice Anderson, in these small islands with the levels of toxicity as they are. Any intervention by the DP would be construed by many as a subtle, subversive attempt by the politicians to undermine the system, and therefore no request was made to the DPP. I can give you that assurance. That is why we are asking this court to deal with the matter, the apex court to deal with the matter and to, of course, allow our appeal. The matter was the appropriate jurisdiction of the court. After the decision of the CCJ, we wrote asking the complainant to provide the evidence in full disclosure as required by the principles of fairness and natural justice. They never responded. We wrote again and told them unless they give us a response by a certain time, we're going to have to take action. They never responded. In fact, first of all, we wrote Ms. Cara Shillingford, who then told us that she does not represent them. You need to direct the letter directly to the claimants. The DPP wrote, and I don't know what response she got, but she wrote them. And in the documents of notice of discontinuance and her cover letter, she said that I had asked for the documents and your evidence. I have read it, and I have come to the conclusion that there's no evidence there to warrant a prosecution or of a possible conviction. Right? So the DPP's decision was made on evidence, not on jurisdiction. That's question one. And the suggestion that I had asked the DPP to intervene before the judgment is totally false. The second point I want to point out is this. I heard somebody on Q95 say that Astafan was not in Dominica. There were no lawyers for the defendants in the court. The only person who turned up was Justin Simon. Well, Bossman, let me tell you, okay? Lennox Lawrence and Andrew Pilgrim, Queen's Counsel from Barbados, went to the magistrate's court and appeared before the magistrate's court. Justin Simon was not there. He may have been in quarantine. He may have decided with the notice of discontinuance that it made no sense turning up, or he was probably just not interested in doing the matter anymore. I don't know what the reasons were. But St. Val didn't turn up. And I understand from Mr. Lawrence and from Mr. Andrew Pilgrim that the magistrate expressed some concern about the fact that the virtual complainant was not there, was not present. Point number 3, which I think you have, Lennox talking about the powers of the DPP. You have it, right?
Yes, where he said...
he talks about Section 72B and so on.
Yes, let me get that for you there, where he spoke about the powers of the DPP. Yes. Let's see if we can get that queued up there. Yeah. Let's see if we can get that queued up there for you, Senior Counsel. Of course, Linton, they're speaking on the matter of the DPP. Yeah, I'm getting that queued up for you there, Amina.
Yes, when he talks about to take over and continue. All right, you have it?
Yes.
The power of the DPP is not questioned.
Yes.
Because clearly in 72, it provides what the DPP can do. And it says, just to go over it, the Director of Public Prosecution shall have power in any case in which he considers it desirable so to do. A, to institute and undertake criminal proceedings against any person before any court of law other than a court martial in respect of any offense alleged to have been committed by that person. That is clear. 72.2a. 72.2b takes the DPP now into another area. This is the area where the DPP has not instituted or undertaken criminal proceedings, but a private individual has. So it says, B, to take over and continue any such criminal proceedings that have been instituted or undertaken by any other person other than the DPP or authority. And this is the segment of the Constitution that the DPP clothed herself in to discontinue the matter.
Simeon,
but this
Yes, I see.
segment of the Constitution,
Mr. Lying is demonic.
Mm-hmm.
It is dangerous and demonic. What he read was section 72, subsection 2A and B, but he left out an important word after B,
Mm-hmm.
colon, and C, to discontinue at any stage before judgment is delivered any such criminal proceedings instituted or undertaken by him or any other person or authority. You know what that means?
Explain that to us,
That
Senior.
the DPP can take over and discontinue any case taken over, instituted or undertaken by him or her or any other person or authority. Any other person includes a private individual. Any authority includes customs, income tax, the police force, the environmental body who may be able to prosecute people for environmental issues and so on. He left out subsection 3, which clearly says, and to discontinue at any stage before judgment is delivered any such criminal proceedings instituted or undertaken by him or any other person or authority.
Mm-hmm.
All that section B tells him he can take over and continue any case. And once he has taken over the prosecution, as he did in that case when he first noticed that she's taken over the case, she is now the one in charge of the case.
Right.
Even though it was undertaken by any other person or authority other than her.
Mm-hmm.
And he leaves that out. The man just shamelessly leaves it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is absolutely...
He implied, Senior Counsel, as if the Constitution doesn't give the DPP the authority to take over cases and discontinue them, but rather to take over the case and to continue with the case. And that the DPP should have appeared before the court.
In St. Kitts, the Director of Public Prosecution took over the case and discontinued it when complaints of bribery were filed against an elected member of the government.
Mm-hmm.
It was done in Barbados with the prosecution of police officers. It was done in St. Vincent in relation, on at least 2 occasions in relation to election matters, and one when there was the allegation that Prime Minister Ralph Gonzalez had raped some woman that was in the Defense Force or Special Services unit. And the numerous other examples, in fact, in Dominica, the Director of Public Prosecution, all the directors of public prosecution, including the acted one, have discontinued cases against private individuals, against police officers who have been charged, and, importantly, against members of the United Workers' Party.
Clarence want to weigh in there, Senior Counsel, a moment. Yeah, Clarence, go ahead.
Tony, I am not a lawyer, but my simple English understanding, if a criminal case is brought before the magistrate or the court, and it is not the DPP taking that case, in order to discontinue that case, she must first take it over.
Yes, that's correct.
To make it her own case.
That is absolutely correct.
And then by taking it over, she then discontinue or continue it. That is my understanding of the English.
Under B, she can continue it. Or
under C, she can discontinue it. But she must first take it over.
Absolutely correct. I mean, I've been hearing you talking about this thing for a few days now, and you're absolutely correct. But you see, Linton and them are not really interested in the truth. But there's another clip by Nicholas George I want Simeon to play.
Yes, let me see if I
We were
can.
talking about treating.
Yeah, I'll get that screen up for you in the meantime there, SC. Let me put it on the bigger screen there. But before you comment on the Nicholas George, I want you to listen to what Hector John said. I want your feedback on that one. Yes, let's see if I can get that in there for you.
The DPP was forced to nolly pros to discontinue the matter. A month ago, or maybe a month or 6 weeks ago, Prime Minister Skerrit was saying, where the evidence? They don't have any evidence. But a month ago, evidence was disclosure. You have to do disclosure, and you made the evidence available. From that time, they realized they're between a rock and a hard place. So the only way out was to bend the hands or break the hands of the DPP, force her into discontinuing the matter.
Yes, in your council. What you make out of that statement there?
I have always thought Park John is either a jackass or somebody with some sort of mental disability or some flaw in his mental cycle, because Park John is not normal.
He has some serious intellectual disability. Because he just cannot understand.
Thank you for it. The man's a thug.
Yeah, some very serious intellectual disability.
People, you know, would also refer to him as a complete jackass to make a statement like that. And I don't want anybody to tell me anything about my language. Park John is intellectually unfit to be in the House, to talk about any issue other than ABC, and even that he might struggle to reach to Z. Right? And no wonder, from what I hear, Mr. has a preoccupation with alcohol. Maybe that loosens his tongue and his brain for him to talk a little better. Park John, to me, is a complete, unadulterated jackass and idiot. Right? And this is the problem we have. That is the leadership of Lennox Linton. These guys cannot intellectually get above him. Every single judge, every single organization or human being that has made a decision which they don't like, they have viciously attacked them.
Yes.
As they're now trying to attack the Director of Public Prosecution. They're going to try to vilify her and electronically lynch her, as they did Justice Brooke Stevenson, as they did the other judges in the past, as they did Justice Ventros, as they did Justice Gasco. As they did the President, as they did the Speaker of the House, as they've done everybody. These fellows are demonically evil. They lie frequently, and they never accept the mistakes they've made.
That's the problem.
And one of the things that we have to make clear to the listeners, right? The Director of Public Prosecution acting asked for the evidence. They gave it to her. She studied it. And she came to the conclusion it was an abuse of the process of the court. Simeon, we had a legal team that was one of the best teams that I've worked with in my professional life. Andrew Pilgrim QC from Barbados, Gilbert Peterson from Trinidad, Lennox Lawrence from Roseau, and Heather Felix Evans from Soufrière. We had regular Zoom meetings. We had regular exchanges of legal analysis. From the first day that Lennox Lawrence got the copies of the documents, before we saw it, Lennox sent out a message in the group chat that not in his wildest dreams would he have ever expected to have read such garbage that have been hanging around the heads of elected and former elected members since 2015. And then that wasn't all. We immediately discovered not only was it garbage, absolute trash, garbage, ignorance, but in the minds of fools like that and a jackass like Park John, he would think it was excellent evidence because mentally he can't climb out of the gutter. then Lennox then sends out another message. But fellas and Heather, but check that now. Every single witness in this matter is a hardcore supporter of the United Workers' Party. Jawanja Stewart, Mr. More Blue than Blue Paint, Blessings, Julius Tyrone Anthony, Nicholas George, Xavier Burgess Xavier, Edgerton Peter Sedval, Mona Charles, rabid activist Colin 295, morning, noon, and night. And the last but not least, Linworth Michelle called Mr. Licks or whatever it is called.
So, Essie, right? what were they really saying that happened then?
I have no idea. Because I read the witness statements. All they were talking about is the fact that there was a concert. And the fundamental problem is reflected in what Nicholas George said. And you need to play Nicholas George for me to address it.
Yes.
About the treating.
Yes, let me play that for you right now. Yes, let's see play that there.
The judgment, the other part is the judgment coming out of that case, if it had gone to trial, would have advised us almost definitively what is treating. Because that section is under consideration by Sir Byron, and I hope it is under consideration by Sir Byron, in determining whether we have treating in our jurisdiction. And so therefore, it is in the public interest to have had a judicial statement made and that it clarified through an entire process whether treating was committed or not and what are the essential elements required for the offense of treating.
Yes, Essie.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what the man said that they're not sure what treating is?
Yes, that's why
we have a clear statement of the law on treating in the 2019 judgment from Justice Errol Thomas. That says even the giving of food and alcohol during an election would not constitute, in his mind, a corrupt practice, because the food and alcohol is part of the cultural entertainment in these Caribbean islands. Fast forward to 2020, Justice Glasgow said the mere holding of a concert could never amount to corrupt practice of treating without more, because in every Caribbean country, elections are how should I put it? Musical fetes and bands and culture and things are part of the cultural scenarios of with calypsonians and bands and everybody playing an entertainment to try to get, the people's mood going. So we have two classic statements of the law from the High Court judge, but Nicholas George is telling us they want a statement of the law from a magistrate.
Yes.
But the magistrate is bound by the decision made by Justice Glasgow that the mere concert is not enough. And Simeon, all the texts that we have read, and we have collated every single text or statement on the allegation of treason. And you know what the essential ingredient is?
What is it, Essie?
Is you have an entertainment, you give food, you give music, you give thing and so on to people that would otherwise not necessarily vote for you because you're trying to persuade them to vote for you in a very corrupt way. Right? The law, Hosby's Laws of England, all the text says unless you can prove and establish that somebody was in fact corrupted to vote by the influence of the treating, then you cannot establish the offense of treating. All the texts from 1890 something, 19 something, Hosby's Laws of England, all the new and modern texts we have on election laws and treaty. the influence of the treaty must be operational on election date. I've heard Clarence say that. I don't know where he got it from, but he's correct. And it must influence somebody to vote in a manner in which otherwise would not have voted. Or he voted because you get a bottle of rum from Spaz, you know, or a bra from Linton, or whatever have you. Simeon, these people never identified anybody who was even at the concert, because they were not at the concert except one.
But wasn't it? But wasn't it?
Hold on,
yeah,
Simeon,
okay,
hold your horse.
Yes, go ahead.
Right? They never pointed to, they never mentioned one person, not even themselves, who was corruptly influenced by the concerts. They never mentioned anybody who was influenced by the entertainment, and that on election day, because of the operational influence of the concert on their mind, that they voted for somebody in the Labour Party which otherwise they would not have voted. Not a word. And I've pointed that out from day one, and our legal team pointed out that how do you establish the offense of treating if you do not establish that somebody was in fact treated?
Right.
These clowns, these band of idiots, right? And we're proceeding on the basis that simply having a band play was the offense, without identifying somebody who was allegedly corrupted and voted because of the corrupt influence to vote. Not a name mentioned, not even they said that. The woman Mona Jichal said when she heard the minister talking, she left. But that's not treating. That's not treating. She left. She didn't go on to say, boy, I was so bamboozled by this spiritual revelation and music. And the minister asking me to vote for Labour, that I betrayed my soul and my conscience and my heart and my political affiliation. And I voted for the Labour Party for Caressa in Marigot. Not even that, she said.
Yes,
These people have been lying for years about campaign corruption. 20 election petitions have been struck out by the courts. One was struck out after the evidence. That's the Peter Sergio and the Roosevelt Skerritt one. And now a DPP, looking at the evidence, have said there is nothing here. This is just an abuse of the process of the court. Against 15 elected members. And as I said to you, Simeon, the lying, the misinformation, the threats are all part of a fundraising cartel that is geared to raise money for them to put in the party or in their pocket. This is not a legitimate discussion based on the true interpretation of the law or the fact. Right? It's as simple as that.
Yes.
All of that is all. I mean, Simeon,
I believe that.
not one person was identified as being in the concert other than those that were on stage, the Prime Minister of Morgan Heritage, and the preacher. Nobody was identified as having even been spoken to individually by any of the defendants.
So, for example, I heard Linton talking about the evidence they presented, like there were advertisement board while Donnie McKirkland was singing that saying vote for Labour, vote for the show. How could that amount to treating or anything like that?
Supposing nobody had turned up to the concert, would that have been treated?
I don't see how that could be treated.
Except you and me. You and I the only ones.
Yes.
Would that have constituted treating? I want you to answer the question.
No essay. I can't say that constituted treating.
So if there's a concert and there are 5,000 people there, and nobody was corrupted to vote for the Labour Party and did not vote for the Labour Party because of the concert, is that treated?
No essay.
No. There is no evidence that anybody went there with a an open mind and was blown away by Rastafari on the stage or by the preacher. I went home and tell Granny boy, I am so blown away. Rasta tell me to do this and preacher tell me do that. Nothing.
No.
Hardcore, Simeon, hardcore United Workers Party.
Yes. That's what I saw.
That are giving us people who call the shows, people who make videos for them, people who fly drones over the Prime Minister's house, people who malpale him morning, noon, and night, call him a criminal, like that parasite from St. Joseph, their blessings. Right? That's who they brought. Can you imagine if thing was not discontinued? What I would have done to these fellas in the box?
I could imagine that. Can imagine that. But I see, isn't there initial matters they brought before the court was about taking the electorate before the court now?
The complaint was, but that's another very important point that we discussed and we saw as being critical to our case, and made our position ironclad. I hate using the word ironclad because Linton used it with the rapists, with the 1.2 billion, with Q and peanut buns, and all it was a plastic bag, right? But it was they said it was to corrupt the Dominican electorate. Now, who and what is the electoral Dominican electorate? Who is that person? That person is everybody. That if that person exists, it's everybody on the voters list. That is only step one. Step two requires you to tell us who on that voters list attended the concerts. Simeon, they have not mentioned one living or dead human being who attended the concerts who was on the voters. Not one. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm understanding you loud
Not
and clear.
one. And not one person was identified as having been corruptly influenced to vote and voted on voting day because of the influence of this bossman. And corruption, corrupt practice is not just the holding of an event. It's not just giving the man a drink. It's not just giving the man a 3-pack of Kentucky Fried Chicken. It has to be done with a certain motive and purpose. And assuming the purpose of the concerts were to, quote unquote, influence the Dominican electorate. Well, tell us who was influenced.
Right.
There was nothing in the witness statement that came within 100 miles of meeting the offense of treating. And all of this bravado and Q95 about evidence, strong evidence, compelling evidence, these fellows don't know what they're talking about.
I realize that.
And Nicholas George, did you play the tape already with Nicholas George?
Yes, I just aired the first one for you.
Nicholas George doesn't even understand himself based on that statement, what he treated the offense of treating me. And Simeon, for the record, right? For the record, we were able to acquire all the old texts that were published just about the same time when the original legislation on treating and bribery was passed into law in 18-something or 19-something. We have all the modern texts. We have Hosby's Laws of England. We have decisions from the English courts. And we were able to put in place a defense that would have been unanswerable. We were satisfied from day one, even before the evidence was given to us, that they could not possibly have the evidence. You know why, Simeon?
Tell us, Ceci.
Them fellas just talk. I would be sent things about what these fellas were saying. And these fellas were not speaking or addressing all of the essential ingredients of the offense. So we knew long ago that they would not have had the offense because they were not addressing their minds to the essential ingredients of the offense. Then they have lawyers that will tell you, Tony, as if I'm talking a certain nonsense and stuff. All you have to do is have a consent. But that's madness. Because cheating and bribery are intended to prevent fraudulent and corrupt voting. And the last point I really want to make there, Simeon. I do not know what they mean by they have evidence or they had evidence covered. Right? Because when we saw the witness statements, maybe one, possibly two by St. Violent and whoever else, would have been signed sometime 2015, 2016. But all the proto workers that jumped on the bandwagon, their witness statements were signed in 2021.
Recently?
What is Clarence saying?
May 2021.
Well, there you go. May 2021. There you go. All right? And the funny thing about it is, some of the witnesses were not even at the concert. All they, you know what they did, Simeon?
Tell us what they did.
Like the master blasters there, they went and they did internet searches and pull up stuff from the internet and say they have evidence. It's a joke. It's a farce.
Yeah, you do.
This whole thing, Simeon, was a calculated attempt to harass the elected members of the government to raise funds. As I tell you, I am now convinced workers are turned from a political party to a fundraising cartel.
Yes.
Nobody's going to convince me otherwise, comment. All of this is a vote.
And see, I want to support you on that because even as we speak now, I heard Linton, whose name was not on this case though, talking about the fact of appeal and the fact that they're going to need to raise money for the appeal. So they still want to continue to see how they can use this case even as it has been struck out by the DPP.
And remember, the woman that Loftus has been insulting and disrespected paused their program to say that I've been given money to assist in the defense of these cases. And I need to know and I want to know where my money got.
Yes.
Remember that, Simeon?
And they have apparently they have turned a blind eye to what she's asking, yes.
They've been disrespecting her. I got a clip from Danny about it. And Loftus Jura is riding roughshod over the woman, but he thinks he's a major now. Right? And disrespecting the woman who's asking a simple question. I gave money. I'm a supporter of the party. Why is it there was no money to get a lawyer earlier clock for moving John Babbitt? It's all a cartel. It's all a cartel. And you know what gives me great confidence that I'm right? 2005, $3 million from Switzerland. 2009, $1.5 million US dollars. Right? 2019, two diplomatic passports, 2 memorandum of understanding at the cost of $400,000 each. Whether money received or not, I don't know. Right? But that's it. And then every case they have, Kieran Peanut burned, right? Fundraising. This case, fundraising. That case, fundraising. And nobody knows where the money goes.
Nobody.
Anyway, Simeon.
But I want to ask you one question before you go. We know that the DPP have struck out the matter and this matter is no more before the court. She discontinued the matter is the better word, yes. With regard to cost or damages, someone wanted me to ask you whether there will be any cost or damages to those who have brought this matter before the court at this stage.
You don't get costs in criminal matters, Simeon.
Okay.
I don't think you do. But anyway, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Essie.
Tony, let me ask you one last question.
Keep the fight going there, Clarence. You're doing well.
Let me ask you one last question.
Go ahead, Clarence.
Tony, you there?
Yes, he's there.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally, let me ask you, did you ever contacted the DPP before the matter went to the CCJ?
Well, Bossman, I personally never contacted any DPP, whether in writing or by telephone. Whether before or after, I personally never contacted any DPP. I definitely did not do it before the case, and I personally never contacted any DPP. At all, zero.
Because what this guys were saying is, when the DPP, when the CCJ, the justice asked you whether you had contacted the DPP, and you said no, and they said you were lying.
I said no.
Yeah.
I said no. And the reason why I said no, all the lawyers on the legal team and the defendants led by Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit will tell you, our position was that this was a jurisdictional fight. And we felt it was in the public interest for the CCJ to make a decision on whether it was the High Court exclusively for elected members, or that somebody could use and abuse the process by coming with private criminal complaints. The CCJ disagreed with us and agreed with them on the jurisdiction point. The DPP, the CCJ did not decide any other issue. In fact, it was more than one justice who asked me about the DPP's powers. And justices on an apex court don't ask questions just for style. They were basically saying to me, look, if this thing goes the wrong way, you have the right to speak to the DPP and so on. I mean, that's how I read it.
Right.
Especially when I saw the judgments.
Right.
But I never contacted anybody at all, any DPP at all. Right?
Mm-hmm. But it's before the case went to the CCJ.
Before the case.
Okay.
I never did.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way on earth I would have done something like that, being firmly of the view that we needed to get the decision of the final court on the jurisdiction point. Because just imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Assuming we had done it before the decision of the CCJ, and we didn't get a determinative decision from the CCJ, then the decision of the Court of Appeal would have stood. And we didn't want it to stand. That's why we went to the CCJ. So even if the judge, the DPP, had nullified the matter after the Court of Appeal's decision, Clarence, the decision would still stand, because the DPP's decision would not have had any effect or impact at all on the decision of the Court of Appeal.
Yeah, that's true.
So we were determined, it's absolutely correct, and we were determined to get the decision of the CCJ. Because, comrade, surprise, surprise, we honestly thought we were going to win. I had assured all the defendants, including the Honorable Prime Minister, we were going to win. And within the first minute, I realized we were not going to win. And we had to do the best we could to just keep the ship sailing. And they were asking these questions about the DPP. And the Constitution vests in the DPP the authority to take over and discontinue any case if he or she is not satisfied the evidence is there or it's an abuse. And you know, I will end by telling you this, Clarence. When I went to St. Vincent, my recollection is that I represented the Director of Public Prosecution, and Sir Richard Cheltenham represented Ralph Gonzalez. Or the other way around, but we were both on the case, right? And I'll never forget Sir Richard's submission to the High Court or the Court of Appeal. The Constitution has made the DPP the gatekeeper to the criminal justice system. And he or she has to decide whether that gate should be open for you to go in, or whether he or she should shut you out. And on 2 or 3 occasions, the DPP shut them off in St. Vincent. They shut them off in Barbados, in Guyana, And in St. Kitts, once they are satisfied in their own deliberate judgment that there's no evidence to substantiate the case.
Right.
And I think I've spent quite a bit of time with you tonight
Indeed.
explaining that there was no evidence of cheating before the magistrate's court in the documents that were given to us and to the DPP. So clarity answer is I never approached the DPP.
All right. I just wanted to clarify that because that's what they were saying. I mean, when the judge asked you,
these guys lie so freely, man. I mean, these guys just they're lying. Their lying is demonic. They are dangerous. They're subversive. They remind me of something I saw on CNN some time ago. When a man is telling the interviewer that as far as he's concerned, Donald Trump is still the president, and that the person in the presidency is not Joe Biden, but a pretender or a fraud pretending to be Joe Biden. He's the one.
Yes.
And that is why in August they have to get Trump back into the White House. That's the level of deception and mental derangement that's taking place in Dominica as well. Anyway, comrade, time for me to go. You have other callers coming. Take care.
Thank you, SC. Indeed, thank you for your contribution here tonight. No doubt. Yes, Lawrence.
So basically, Simeon, what I was saying, and Tony has confirmed it, for there to be treating, you have to convince corruptly somebody who would not have voted for you.
That's right.
You would not have voted. Somebody who would not have voted for you. You give them food, you give them drink, and you give them entertainment. And they were so moved and so bamboozled, so drunk, that the person on election day went to vote for you instead of the party they would have voted for.
That's right, Clarence.
That is treating.
And that they didn't present.
And that evidence they did not present except the witnesses, basically what they were saying, because since they were going there as witnesses, they were basically saying that they were at the concert, they were given food, drink, and entertainment, and they voted for the Labour Party instead of the party that they would have voted for. Because what you have there were real political activists, real activists of the United Workers' Party. Who can be more activists of the United Workers' Party than Blessing?
No, none of them, Christ. I'm going to take a break there, though. When we come back, we'll continue with your calls there. I'm telling you, it's going to get quite interesting. All the telephones are already ringing there off the hook.
You want change? Big change. Is a calypsonian singing, and it's the same topic he repeating, accusing the government, saying how they ain't performing. But that does not surprise Crunter. A puppet is run by his master, so he giving him them songs to push his blue agenda. They say they presenting nothing strange, just repeating the same refrain, and have the audacity to tell us that it is time for change. From 95 to 2000, the country was suffering. The prescription used wasn't working. But since Labour Party take over, man, change started coming in. The new State House and the new State College evidently have booster image. That is change. Oh God, let's talk about change. The road from Roseau down to Marigot and the upliftment of Melvin Hall Airport, can't you see that is change? Big change. Oh God, never before in Dominica, every village have pipe-borne water, can't you see that is change? Oh oh God, all of them things is changed. Aye. So many things the government do. Allow me to point out a few to you. Is you who talk about change? Can't you see? Change has come.
Yes, change has come, and that's the real change here. But we have a caller on the overseas line. Overseas line, good evening to you, caller.
Good evening, Simeon.
Good evening, my brother.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. God bless, yes.
All right. Clarence, Sakafet.
Yeah, he just stepped out a moment there. He'll be back in shortly, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Simeon, your program has started very, very well tonight. And thanks Senior Counsel for his wonderful work and all the education that he's giving to us. So I don't really have much to say because I leave the legal details to the professionals.
Yes.
Senior Counsel has done a fantastic job. But I just want to comment on Nicholas George's statement.
Yes.
And maybe if you don't mind, maybe you could play it again. Play it again. The statement where he was talking about the treating.
Yes. Let me see if I can get that queued up there. Yes, I know. Yes, very serious statement there by him there, no doubt. Let's see if...
Yeah.
Denial of the citizenry to justice in Dominica through the institutions set up to bring justice to the citizenry will result in the citizenry taking their justice. They will take their justice. They will gain their justice. They will decide and define their justice. When they do that, it will come in direct confrontation with the laws of Dominica and the people enforcing the law. It is in the view or the mind, maybe in the view and the mind of the chief of police, that he has sufficient police officers to suppress an angry people. He has sufficient firearms and ammunition to suppress an angry people. And therefore, the political directorate on Roosevelt Skerritt's side are seemingly dependent on that force. I am warning. There aren't sufficient police officers and there aren't sufficient firearms or ammunition to suppress an angry people if they rise when they feel that they have no recourse but to take action to bring justice to themselves, the citizenry of Dominica, and the nation state of Dominica. I'm saying to the chief of police, this is a question you asked me, now is the time to make an assessment of the political heat that is in Dominica.
Yes, my brother. That's Nicholas George there, yes.
Yes. Well, I was not referring to that clip, but I'm glad you played it though, because those two clips they join into each other.
Right. Yes.
Now, this is for a man who was a former high-level police officer. It's very irresponsible and incendiary language, right? This has undertones of violence, right? He's making a direct statement to the police that you don't have enough men, and your force doesn't have enough ammunition and weapons for the people, and obviously talking about his people, their people, when they decide to take the matters into their own hands.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That is very irresponsible statement. And for a man who was once, what was his rank in the police force? Superintendent of police?
Superintendent, yes.
Yeah. That is very irresponsible, very dangerous language. And Nicholas George ought to be ashamed of himself. And like Tony said, in other jurisdiction, he would have been hauled into the police office to explain those statements.
Yes, those are serious statements.
Right?
Yes.
These are serious statements.
Yep.
But these statements, remember, are premised on the judgment, well, not the judgment, but the discontinuance of the civil matter that they people brought before the court that the DPP discontinued.
That's right.
Right? So this is the reason why he's making that statement. Right? And then his own audio you played earlier, he's saying that they don't understand what treating is.
Yeah, you're speaking. You're referring to. Let's see if I get it right there. This particular audio. Let's see if I can play there.
The judgment. The other part is the judgment coming out of that case. If it had gone to trial, would have advised us almost definitively what is treated, because that section is under consideration by Sir Byron, and I hope it is under consideration by Sir Byron, in determining whether we have treating in our jurisdiction. And so therefore, it is in the public interest to have had a judicial statement made, and that it clarified through an entire process whether treating was committed or not, and what are the essential elements required for the offense of treating.
Yeah, yes, my brother.
Yes, so there you go, right? So Nicholas George is saying that he does not understand what treating is, right? And how can you not understand what treating is? But you're going to attempt to take somebody to the court to file a criminal complaint for treating.
He is a witness for treating. This is strengthening Donny.
I mean, it is comical. He's saying that it's only after the judgment, if it was continued, then he would know what treating is. But before you accuse somebody of treating and taking them to court on a criminal complaint, you ought to understand and know what treating is. And he's telling you he doesn't know what it is, right? And at the end of it all, because it was discontinued, he's making this dangerous, reckless comments of violence, right? So you see, these guys, they do not have any reason, right? They are all over the place. They are disorganized, right? And you how could you have people? He's a PRO of his party. He's a two-time candidate for his party, right? And you don't understand what treating is. It is reckless, and as Tony said, an abuse of the court process, and the DPP is Nicholas George's statement is justification as to why the DPP didn't go through with the case. He himself is saying that because he doesn't know what treating is. And when the DPP look at their submission,
yeah,
I mean he had no choice because he's admitting that.
Yes, they don't understand what treating is. They're seeking for an explanation.
Yes.
Define it. Yes.
You know, this is a shocking statement. A shocking statement by a shocking show of ignorance. He admits he's ignorant on what treating is. He doesn't know what it is.
Imagine that, eh? For a man who have served as a senior police officer, I mean, and being a public speaker in the front of the UWP, they have been taking this matter before the court for so many decades. By now, you would expect that something like that would have been explained to them, or they could ask their lawyer to explain it to them.
But exactly, and you are asking people to give you money, their hard-earned money, to take matters to court, that you yourself are admitting that you don't even know why you're going to court. I'm going to court on this treating matter, but I don't know what treating is. You understand?
Yep.
I mean that is just plain embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me.
Of course, I mean. He clearly, and I don't understand how it could be a weakness on this very matter that he doesn't even understand what it's about.
And he sits there in the company of Lennox Linton, his leader, Sparks John, a parliamentarian, Eddie Consent Val, who is a witness, whatever he is, a petitioner, right? And he makes
He's a complainant, yeah.
Complainant, yeah. And he makes that statement, and they all stay quiet. They agree with him. They don't know what treating is. No, not one of them could say, "Well, no, Nicholas George, no, you're wrong. This is what treating is. We know what it is. That's why we went to court." Even the complainant didn't say that. You know, they sit there and they were all mute. You know, I mean, this is absurd, Simeon. Right?
It is.
And one more thing. So he insinuated, and I was trying to find the clip, but I think I fell asleep while I was looking for it. Where he insinuated that what happened in Haiti will happen here if they don't get their way.
Well, the one I played for you initially was what he was actually saying about the citizenry, will take their justice. Obviously, he was alluding to that. Yes.
Yeah. And Simeon, since this, this really tragic event in Haiti, right? I have read so many disturbing comments on Facebook, all coming from the Workers' Party people, celebrating. Some of them don't even understand what really happened, and some of them wishing that this had happened in Dominica.
Yeah, I listened to them myself.
I read a lot myself.
You know, and what disturbs me is these are the known supporters of the United Workers' Party, and not one leader of the Workers' Party has come out and admonished these people. Not one of them. Not one of them.
But Donny, I don't know if they have, but I cannot recall hearing that the leader of the opposition condemned the killing of the Haitian president. The assassination. I do not know.
Nothing.
Have you heard anything from him?
No, I have not.
I haven't. No.
Yeah.
If he had, we would have known.
Yeah,
because we listened to them.
Yeah, I listened to the entire Thursday night program that they just had, and I did not hear them. The only thing they in reference to what happened in Haiti, they alluded to was where Nicolas sought to give the impression that the citizenry can take their justice when they're ready, and to talk about the police and arms and calling on the police and the commission, and that was the only thing they sort of related to, but but nothing otherwise.
You see. I mean that is so low. That is so low for people who want to be leaders of a country, right? You will hear your supporters making this really nasty comments about somebody's tragic assassination, and you won't put a Facebook post. You will not come on the radio and make a statement. Nothing. You know.
Nothing.
I mean, what manner of people are these? You know, I mean, you don't hear any labor rights doing those things, saying those things. Not at all. You know, but that is their mindset, Simeon, right? Because they themselves are always inciting violence.
That's right.
Right? And the mistake these people are making, these people want to parallel every situation to Dominica, which is so absurd and so stupid. You know? Anything they see a protest somewhere in Namibia, they pull the video and they put them under. Oh, look at this over there. You know, they have no idea what the circumstances are.
Yeah, I know.
Right? It's just like they're calling for May 29th to repeat itself over again. Right? Most of them do have no idea what was May 29th, 1979. They have no idea of how things built up. You know, and what they fail to acknowledge. Right? They are in the deep minority in Dominica. The Labour Party is overwhelming majority in Dominica.
That's right.
Overwhelming majority in Dominica. Right? And they like to talk about the people of Dominica. The majority of the Dominican people support the Dominican Labour Party.
That's what they seem to
Right?
forget.
And you all are not going to have your way when a government is elected democratically, right? Recognized by every major institution,
That's right.
right? Respected for their competence, for their hard work, and for the strides that they have made in Dominica. And this small faction, they just keep making noise and fooling themselves into believing that they can take over the government.
Ain't gonna happen so.
That can't happen.
Can't happen so.
You know, and they whip them up to a frenzy. You know, claim they're going to go to court and they're going to do this, and all they use these things for is to raise money.
That's all.
Tony is absolutely right. The Workers' Party has become a fundraising cartel. That's all they are,
Yes.
right? Using the supporters, fooling them all the time, right? But never seeking to address any of these people's needs. They can never help anybody. So they see them raffling an old car. You know, I wonder what the fund going to be used for. Right? We will never know. You know, so that is just the Workers' Party for you.
Indeed.
You know, this is a lame bunch of people that just make a bunch of noise in Dominica. And in the meantime, while they're doing this, the country continues to move forward because we have a government who's serious about Dominica's development.
That's right, my brother.
Understand?
That's right.
All right. Okay, my friend. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for your contribution here on the program there tonight. No doubt, while they continue to make noise, the country continue to move forward. That is definitely something that the opposition cannot stop. Let's go on the local line. Caller, good evening on the local line.
Hi, good evening, Simeon. Wow, 4 wickets. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Good evening, Simeon.
Good evening, good evening. Yes.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. God bless.
Simeon, it is so painful listening tonight to what's going on. First of all, let me say good evening to my constituents who are up because sometimes they go to bed early down that side.
Oh, that's Honorable Catherine Danielle.
There.
Honorable Catherine Danielle.
A very pleasant evening to my constituents down there.
Yeah, Honorable Catherine Danielle, good evening to you and welcome. I want people to know it's you that's there. But you're having activities in your constituency. Anything happening there? To me, I see something saying they have some fish thing or something this weekend.
They have St. Peter in Dubla and the mass is tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, but St. Peter really is the 29th of June. Cordial is the 29th of June. So Dubla is celebrating tomorrow, and then there's someone who opening some restaurant. So they have that activity, but with COVID and everything, you know.
Loki.
Protocols and stuff.
Yeah, but Honorable Danielle, thanks for joining me tonight. But when you hear the Nicholas Judge statement about the things that they're saying and all these things, what do you make out of all of that, though?
Simeon, it is so painful. Number one, you are a candidate in the election. If somebody can convince you not to vote, treat you not to vote for yourself, then this speaks volumes about your integrity, for one thing. Number two, Nicholas Judge is somebody who reads in church, and the Catholic Church have to be careful who they put on the Holy of Holies to read the Word of God to people. People who are inciting violence. And you are that is why, Simeon, when these people went to the Polisario, we do not know what they went for. We do not know what promises were made there. We have seen what's happening. We saw what happened in Haiti. And we hearing their pronouncement. I'm not on Facebook, so I do not know. But from what I'm hearing from people, the cry, and even in the undertones of the tapes you played tonight, from a person who was a high-ranking officer in the police force, who should be putting reason where reason is in calming a country. These are your pronouncements veil the threat. Simeon, this is no smiling matter.
That's right.
This is no thing to say, oh, them man just in a state and forget that. This is serious, Simeon.
That's right, it is.
This is serious matter.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody expected what happened to happen in Haiti the way it happened and the people who were involved. And these people have been trotting the globe going. I mean, look at the people in the desert. The people with no country. These are your friends, Simeon. Simeon, and it is frightening. But I just admonish and ask Dominicans to continue to pray for our country, to pray for Dominica. Simeon, I went to court, and some of us were there.
Yes.
And the case was dismissed. Thank God I had to go into appeal again. But Simeon, what happened? We hypnotized these people. I had 2 witnesses. A Starbucks man, he run from Brioche. That is the people you can get the ink of workers to make the call of workers. These people, and these people were not at the concert to bear false witness. You are willing to bear false witness to gain a power where people have rejected you? And by any means necessary, y'all don't care, y'all just want power? Simeon, Dominica has never seen that before. Never.
I know.
But we will put our knees down and we'll raise our hands and our eyes to the heavens. And God will deliver us like He delivered the Egyptians, like He delivered them, the Israelites from the Egyptians. Simeon, it is painful, it is hurtful, and I've made one thing. And for example, I don't want to say much about my church. The Catholic Church is my church. Bishop and everybody can live as saying I'm a Catholic by faith, but I'm a kingdom person also. But we have to be careful what we condone in the church.
Yes.
When we call for the prayer, how many of them were against it?
Yes.
They were against it.
Yes.
And you are condoning and things like that. You elevating because you must be elevating because you have the person sitting on the Holy of Holies. You have the people on the Holy of Holies. This is nonsense. And we are God-fearing people in Dominica. The Labour Party members, thank God, are God-fearing people.
Yes.
And that is where we will take our case. And justice will always prevail.
That's right.
Justice will always prevail.
That's right.
And God will protect Dominica from the hands of the state. And no weapon formed shall prosper. No weapon formed against us shall prosper.
Yes.
Because we stand on the promise that God said He will guide us and protect us. And He'll lead us to the promised land as He's leading us to the promised land for our new hospital, for our international airport coming, our health services. That is what the Dominica Labour Party is busy looking after.
That's right.
People's welfare.
That's right.
We haven't got time to try to destroy people.
That's right.
And even when the people sit and plot and think, the Prime Minister still sends out an olive branch to these people to say, if you are willing to develop the country, come on board, we'll accept you. Because all we seek is to make life better for our children, for the education programs we have. We say 1 child in every household should be a university graduate. In many, we have more because of the provisions we have made and we are still making.
Yes.
And Dominicans, think, analyze for yourself. You don't have to take what we as laborites say. Go on the internet and get the information for yourself. Do not just repeat what people are telling you.
Right.
Simeon, my heart aches tonight when I heard those tapes there. My heart aches. My heart aches. My heart aches. Because Nicholas George is from Colio no matter what. He's from Colio. What example are you giving to the young people to just go and fight?
Right.
Taking people from Colio, people cannot read, giving them placards to hold upside down to make Colio people a laughing stock. These are the things you want to do for us? Come on, man. No. Simeon?
Yes, dear.
continue to bring out the word there to our people.
Indeed.
Let's continue educating the people.
Mm-hmm.
As we have, it's a school that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Please do not bring down anybody.
That's right.
But we have to say the truth
That's right.
as the truth exists
Mm-hmm.
and let people know what is happening.
That's right.
Because the hatred, Simeon, I may not like you, but if you're doing good, you're doing good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And put Dominica first, because Dominica, for some of us, will be the only place we spend the rest of our life. Many of us do not want to leave our country, no matter what.
That's right.
Many of us have gone. We have seen the other side where they say the grass is green, but Dominica was our home, and we came back to give back to Dominica.
That's right. That's right.
And we're still giving back to Dominica. Because that is where we call home. You know, let's cherish our home. And many, many people wish they had a prime minister like we have.
That's right.
Many, many people. You go even before all this COVID and all this situation, you'd go overseas and people tell you, I wish I had that leader in my country. So let's cherish, protect, and pray for the prime minister. Because it's lonely at the top. Huh?
No, I can tell you.
It's lonely and all this situation going on. I mean, he's human. He's somebody's child. He's somebody's child. People haven't got to torment people like that, man, for no reason. Come on, man. Then have a blessed night.
Thank you.
May God bless you guys, and may God bless the Commonwealth of Dominica. Oh, God, fix the kids song.
Thank you.
Okay, then.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Daniel, for your contribution here. Thank you so much. Yes, my brother Clarence.
I want to say one thing. You see what happened in Haiti? And as you read, a lot of those guys who were the mercenaries were former commandos of the Colombian army. When you have former police officers like this guy, Nicholas George, former police officer. You have Senval, former police officer. You have this guy from Bioche who was a witness, Euron Vidal, a former police officer in Bermuda. I think those guys should be placed under constant surveillance. Every move of them should be placed under constant surveillance, given the rhetoric that Nicholas George made on Thursday night. His move, every single move he made should be under surveillance. Recorded, videotape, whatever it is, every move he makes, his whereabouts should be always be known. All of them, all three of them, their whereabouts should always be known. Because these are the guys, God forbid, who would want to be or try to be in the lead as they are preaching on Facebook and on social media. What happened in Haiti should happen in Dominica. So you have to be very careful. Put those guys under constant surveillance.
Yes. Point well taken there, Clarence. Let's go to the overseas line there. Overseas line, caller, good evening to you on the overseas line.
Hey, good evening, my brother, Simi.
Hey, good evening, brother.
Yeah, you and Mr. Parents, good evening.
Good evening, man. Good evening.
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to point in my little piece there. I've been listening tonight, and it just amazes me that these guys are so relentless in their efforts. I mean, you can clearly see that these guys are taking advantage of our judiciary system. They're taking it for a joke. That's what I'm gathering tonight.
Yes.
Everybody knows that these witnesses are put to UWPIs. It's like mommy going to a Richie Spike concert and voting for UWP because of the food and the music at the concert, and the next day mommy saying, "Hey, I forget to vote for Skerrit. I can't vote for Linton."
I know, it's a big joke.
That's a big joke. That's clearly what these guys. That's what they're throwing up in our face. I mean, it's just unbelievable that these guys have been peddling their lies for 20 years. Their leader, this man engages in deception and lies. He even convinced incredible people like Nicholas George to side with his modus operandi.
Yes.
assumptions, accusations, name calling. That's what these guys are about. They want to shame people out, you know. So they'll call you names, they'll call you all kind of names, so you'll be mid-office, and then, you know, just because of, you know, they're calling names. Look at how he and the funny thing about it, Simi, is that he always crying victim, you know.
Yes.
He's always in court.
Yes.
And he's a victim.
Yes.
That's why I tell you, I think it's like a joke to the man, you know. Look at the Kieran Burn case. Privy Council, you know, the Compass cases, even the human accidents that he had with the kid and the man falling down by his place.
Yes.
He's a victim.
Yes.
Not taking up the onus.
No.
You know, always involved in some criminality and not taking responsibility for it, and then spinning the incident to his advantage to show that he's a victim. I mean, come on, we can clearly see that this last example here with what these guys concocting, a favorite word of his, is basically, you know, it's just the deception all the time.
Yes.
I'll give you an example this week. I was listening, and I had to stop for a moment and think of how deadly these people are. The Aristotle from St. Joseph, you know, that parataxi. I'll give you two incidents of it, the line of reasoning that this man has. This man, I listened to this man over the other station, and he says that, look at the effects of the 3 days of prayer. Sonia Felixson got killed, and somebody got stabbed, I think. Their throat was cut, their stomach was outside. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, some guy got injured there in Massac. That was a family issue, yes.
Right. This man saying that is a result of the prayers that the Prime Minister called nation to. You wonder what God this man was praying to. And the host on the other station didn't say a word. They didn't correct the man. They didn't say, bro, you can't have that line of reasoning. Somebody calls up with a line of reasoning like that, you have to admonish them and say, hey, bro, come on, that is nonsensical thinking. You don't say things like that.
Yes.
You don't. See me? I'll give you another example of how flawed the reasoning is, and that is why I call him Aristotle, because that's his Aristotle, and they allow him for years to be on that radio station, just spewing filth. The man calls up and he's upset that the Prime Minister shut down the country last Friday because of the pending, you know, the threatening inclement weather.
Yes.
Okay? He's upset. Oh, who the Prime Minister think he is, how we can just shut down the country and blah, 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 blah. But listen to my line of reasoning.
Yes.
This is the same man that is an anti-vaxxer. This is the same man that is trying to convince people not to take the vaccination. The government goal in COVID was to try and attain herd immunity. Okay? So that they could open up the country faster so that people could come into the country. If you're an anti-vaxxer, you're doing contrary to what the government is doing. So you're opposing the government's movement. You're complaining about shutting down the country for a few hours, but yet still you're on a campaign as an anti-vaxxer to prevent people from getting vaccinations so the government can attain herd immunity and they can open up the country faster for people to come in and for us to do business. You see the line of reasoning that these people have?
Yes.
So the minute they sit down, any fart that comes to their mind, they let people hear it, you know, and how loud it is. A bunch of wind, a bunch of empty-head people that every day on a radio station, on a bully pulpit, indoctrinating a bunch of other people. I mean, it's just unbelievable, the length and breadth that these people had. Tirelessly, you know, every day.
Every day.
I stopped listening, you know, I tune in just to get a little bits and pieces so that I ain't too far out from the fray.
Well, it's just too much negative.
It's too much, see me. It's just way too much.
Even for me who listen to them, I mean sometimes I'm like, you know, I just can't take them in. It's just too much. It's just too much.
Too much, man. It's it's too much. But you know, you and Mr. Clarence, I mean, you guys have been doing some awesome work, and Tony and stuff. And don't forget Tony. You know what I mean, just awesome work.
Yes.
And God forbid, man, if we didn't have Tony and Stefan on the side, man, these fellas would eat us. They would eat us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That's
Thank
why.
God for Tony.
That's why they can't deal with him, because they know he can't come with anything and get away.
And you know what I like? He gets down in the gutter with you too, man.
Oh, just Tony for that. So they don't play with him.
You boy, he's fearless.
When they throw the suspect, Tony will throw it back after them. They get it away with him.
All right, my brother.
Take care, man.
Thank you so much for giving me the time. All right.
You're welcome, my bro. You're welcome. Yes, sir. You know, they can't mess with Tony. They don't like him, but they know why they don't like him, because they can't mess with the senior counsel. Local line there, caller. Good evening to you.
Hey, man, good night, man. What's up, man?
Hey, my brother. I'm good. Thank you. God bless.
Yeah, man, thank God, man. See, man, what you expect, the birds of a feather.
Yes. Flock together.
I'm telling you, see, man, once your head bad, your body do good, you know.
That's right.
Man, once your head not good, your body not good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So what you expect? See, man, how can you take a matter to court and go in the court and ask the court to tell you what is treating?
Treating.
But my brother, you take a matter to court, you should know what you're taking the matter. You should know what you're going to court for.
Right.
So it's like you're going before the magistrate, you're going before the judge, and you're asking them to explain to you what you come before the court with.
Yes.
So what you expect the judge to do? Don't tell you move in front of him or her. But my brother, you don't know what you're about. You're wasting the time of the court. Because you come there, you're not sure what you're doing.
Yes.
You're not sure what you're taking the matter, what you're doing. So what you expect the judge to do? So what you expect the DDP to do? You say you present the evidence, but you have no evidence.
Looking for explanation.
You're looking for explanation, but you come into court with explanation. You don't come in to get explanation. You're bringing a matter before the court to get a response, to get a verdict on your side.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to court for you to get a response. How response? Mm-hmm. But they can see me on, they have no plan for anything. They don't plan anything.
No.
And it's that, you see what Nicholas just said there?
Mm-hmm.
You should take that seriously. You know,
well, of course, and that's why I want to support my friend Clarence, that when people make this kind of statement, they should be put on the surveillance.
That's why you should, not only surveillance, you have to understand what you mean by that.
And he should be taken in to explain himself.
You remember when Lawrence made this statement about you'll hunt them like Al-Qaeda and whatever. You remember the big show they made?
Yeah, they're still talking about that up to today, like today.
About it, but look at what Nicolas George is saying today, which is far worse. I mean, you know what happened to the Haitian president, man? Foreigners coming on the man's soil and kill him. So that's what you want to happen to us?
I can't understand that at all.
Where foreigners come and kill our leaders in Dominica. See, man, I say, but in 1979, in 1978, will never happen in Dominica again, you know.
I said that already.
It cannot happen again, you know. That cannot happen again, you know. Because what these fellas think is that by any means necessary, so they can use violence, they can threaten people. But Dominicans not taking that again, you know, Simeon.
That's right.
Dominicans not taking that again, you know. That can happen again, you know. Where man threatening man and feel they can say what they want because you feel you free, you can say what you want. That happened in Dominica. We have in 1970 one 1970 that it can come back, you know. Because Dominicans will not sit down, or laborers will not sit down and want those fellas behave bad and feel well. You know, sometimes you can behave so bad, Simeon, that a man can say, boy, let you go on your own way. But enough is enough at a certain time, you know.
I know.
A man can take so much. So yes, you can make your threats, you can say what you want, but Nicolas just will come on some serious observation. You can't be making them kind of statements, my brother. You're inciting violence. And then you can go your merry way, and the one from Kirsten from St. Joe can say what he wants, that one can say what he wants. You say you have all the evidence, but you can't present it. You can't prove it. What these guys really say? Them fellas not ready. Parra calling them, you know, Simeon.
Well, that's not a bad way to refer to them.
Why you know that? That you call that Parupo, why you know?
They have a mad rush. I remember our Prime Minister saying that they had a mad rush to power, and that's a very dangerous thing.
It's a dangerous... See, anytime you say man rushing for power, you have to be careful with him, you know. And I always say to myself, it is better to be thought of than to be seen as a fool. Let people think you're stupid, Simeon, but let people see you stupid.
Yes.
Let people see you stupid. Let people think you're stupid, but let people see you stupid. And so this guy's behaving, you know. I thought these guys were foolish, but I'm not speaking again, I see it because your captain is so desperate for power. To do what? To oppress people? To take 4.5 years to investigate the chief, to investigate senior minister, to investigate Tony, to investigate this one, to investigate that one, and waste our time and take us back 50 years behind while we're moving forward?
Yes.
Dominicans happy with what we have, and that's what this first can understand, Simeon. We're happy with what we have. That's why we're not putting on what we have for what we know that's not good. So that's the difference, that you want to put on what you have because you see something else coming in.
I know.
But we have nothing good coming in.
Nothing in them, man.
Nothing in them fellas to say, well, them fellas can give a little thing and say, a little ray up and say, you know what, let's give them a try.
They have no solution. No solution.
When a man work for 30 years, man not working for 20 and 15 years, it's for you real work. Man not working for themselves. This is for you they will work, Simeon.
I know.
So how they thinking, the rationale behind the whole thinking, Simeon, doesn't make any sense to me, Master, you never work 20 years, you're not working for yourself. You're going to work for me.
Well, I like the quote of Dr. Farrar, who said that he has never seen a party who calls itself workers, but the people in that political party just refuse to work.
Exactly.
Yes.
You not work, my brother, and he was right. And it has been proven time and time after. My brother, leave politics alone. That is not Simeon, I always say that is not a party, That is a club.
Yes.
Run by Edison James.
That's right.
That's not no party. That is a club run by Edison James. And as long as he is alive, that party will stay out of power. And even if he's there, it will still stay because Dominicans don't want them. They have their track record. Even in funny affairs, you destroy a country. In funny affairs, you destroy a country, my brother.
Yes,
20 years, I'll give you then. If you can destroy it in one term, how much for 2 terms unfruited? Much less for 2 unfruited. That's why you want to kill us. But leave us where we are right now. Leave us with who we have. We're comfortable. We're happy. And we're voting the Dominican Labour Party.
That's right.
And Labour Party. I put a thing in my little boy head and tell that, my brother. Even if you live to see, and it's not who you see now, still vote for Labour Party. Yes, because the philosophy you're voting for.
Yes, sir.
You're not voting for just a party, you're voting an ideology, voting something that is real, something that says that all shall eat and all will eat in.
That's right.
My brother, why you want to take it out now? That's everything working for you, leave it.
No problem with it. Leave it.
No problem. I mean, I have absolutely no problem with what we have.
True.
So why I should leave it now and you want to bring me before court and telling the magistrate to tell you what is treating. But you don't know what is treating before then. My brother, I'm listening.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Christian, you enjoyed Portsmouth today now?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. All right, good man. Simeon, I'm listening.
Take care, my brother. Yes, I mean, these guys, they absolutely behave like sometimes they just, I don't know how to explain them, bunch of fools, whatever you can think about. On the overseas danger caller, good evening.
Yes, good evening, my brothers. How are you doing tonight?
Good, thank you. God bless you.
Hey, good evening, man. How are you doing, bro?
No, good. If we follow the trend of the UWP, remember when the government gave assistance for the bishop to repair the cathedral?
Yes.
The bishop came under blows from the UWP. The UWP is always against religion. Anytime they see a pastor or a priest or a bishop is kind of sympathetic to the government. You know what happened to the bishop during the unrest in Marigot a couple of days before the election when he was trying to take a flight out of the country?
He was harassed. Yes.
Right. And so much things that we have been saying about pastors and ministers, religious ministers who are sympathetic to the government.
Yes.
So how on earth a gospel concert changed the heart of Nicholas George, that he abandoned himself as a candidate and went out and voted for Catherine Daniel. When these people have been so anti-religion. So how a gospel concert could really dramatically give Nicholas George that type of change in heart? So you can see these people are so wicked. They're wicked to their own selves. And the people who follow them should take that as an example to see how you say you are a member of the executive of the Dominica Labour of the United Workers
UWP,
Party.
yeah.
You
And
are
a candidate, as you said, yes.
And a candidate. And you're telling your people that while you are standing as a candidate for your party, the Labour Party had a gospel concert, and that gospel concert gave you a change of heart, and you voted, and you did not even vote for yourself.
No.
You voted for the Labour Party.
Wow.
So the UWP rank and file should see, well, their leaders are not good, they are crooks, they are embarrassing the party. And they should ask themselves a question and say, do I need to support this type of party who lie blatantly like that?
So freely.
So if you can let a gospel concert change your mind, what about money? Somebody give you a money, then you would do anything. So we have to look at these people as very bad examples to the country and continue doing what we are doing to make sure they remain where they are forever.
Yes.
I have to say, good work you all are doing on the radio station. Keep educating the people.
Indeed.
Keep leading us on the right direction.
That's right.
And the Dominica government shall stand strong. The Labour Party shall surely survive. And we are for development, not for backwardness.
That's right.
And we're supporting and we will continue to support.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. And thank you for your continued support there to the Dominica Labour Party. Yes, Clarence.
Now, Simeon, what I want to talk about this time is the level of attack on Friday, Thursday and Friday, that the UWP leveled on the poor young lady, the DPP, Sherma Dalrymple. And I do not know, and the accusation they make, I mean, she's a lawyer, I think she can stand on her own. But I think somehow, some way, she should set matters to take Q95 and Matt Peltier and all those people to court for those level of accusations. She should get some assistance if she doesn't have the funding.
Even the statement by Hector John, I mean, to accuse the DPP of being forced into, is already, you know, I'm bringing her office into contempt.
Not only the office, but herself, her own person.
Yes.
Into disrepute, into contempt. And I think she should. Somebody, that's a person's child. That's a young Dominican, whether you like it or not, who has at a young age has gone out to study and get a profession. Bro, I have two young children who have done the same and who can hold their own. And this is a lady who look at the evidence here. You have no evidence to present. All you did was to go on the internet and take certain things out of the internet, the concert and what people say, and say that is not evidence. You did not bring any evidence to show that somebody who would not have voted for the Labour Party voted for the Labour Party because they were so influenced by the concert, so corruptly, so corruptly influenced by the concert. You did not show that anywhere.
Nowhere at all.
Nowhere in any of the case you submitted.
Right.
You did not show anybody was influenced,
nowhere,
corruptly influenced, and had them voted for the Labour Party. Except the witnesses who were UWP supporters. In all the people that want to give is 6 UWP supporters you bringing in, and any DPP who worth their salt, any DPP who is a Dominican and know their salt, they know every thing. So how you expect that case to go forward, and then to bring that level of to unleash that level of maliciousness on this young lady? What people like Randy Rodney would say is saying.
Wonder.
What the other people are saying?
But Clarence, I mean, and you're raising a point there. You know, this is a political organization, the UWP, who somehow they think they're never wrong. They've been proven wrong by so many high courts, court of appeal, Even the Privy Council proved them wrong, proved the leader of the opposition wrong in allegations they have made, and they cannot substantiate any of these allegations with any facts. Now, Hector John, Nicholas George, Linton, and others should know that in the court is evidence that speak. Is not hearsay or they say, or you have to come with your facts. Linton always claim that they have facts. But somehow when they get before the judge, their facts can't get past the judge because it's no facts at all. And that is something that the Workers' Party have done. And that's why we have to give credence to the fact that this is always a method that the UWP have been using. For a number of years now, they have been using it on their supporters to raise money. They try coming with their own so-called club after one of those elections, where they wanted people to invest their money into the UWP, claim that the people would get back profit on their money after having been defeated by the DLP. They have been trying all sorts of stunts you can think about. Thanks God, we saved some of their people, some of that madness that was going on. Let's take a call. The telephones are all ringing there before we leave. Caller, good evening on the overseas line.
Hi, good evening. I've been trying for a long time to get you.
Hi, good evening.
Okay. First of all, is it treating? I am not an attorney, so I don't have any information on treating, but people should actually, I don't know, the United Workers' Party, I think I've said that before. These people need to get a grip on themselves, seriously. And I do not know why they keep making a fool out of themselves like this. It's continuous. Even with the Haiti situation, I find it's kind of sad. It's very sad. And the leadership of the United Workers' Party, it's high time. I do not know if they are asleep. They know what I'm talking about, you know. They know. That is engaging in too much garbage that is going on in the United States. They are caught up in it. I know what I'm talking about. Dale Dangleben, you know who I am. I sent you an email in somewhere late 2018. Dale Dangleben, Dr. Dale Dangleben. I am going to begin calling your names. Eventually, it's going to come down to where I will be mentioning my name at some point. Gabriel Christian, I called you a few weeks ago. You know COVID-19 is going on. Your secretary answered. You did not respond. I told you I am sending you a packet to your law firm so you could actually read it for me. You know what happened? I sent it. You did, it returned to sender. So what happened? Is your law firm online, the address changed? Or you all are doing something? I know all about it. Dominica has no idea what's going on. A lot of Dominicans, they have no idea. Now, if you look, you see that Haiti situation? You see all nonsensical garbage you all are talking? There are some people who are privy to a lot of things that you all do not know. It's not you all do not know, you know, some of you all know what you all were engaging in the United States. You all are caught in some kind of a ridiculous, shittier situation you all cannot get out of. A lot of you all need to realize, just look at the state of what is going on in the United States today. People in Dominica should be very happy they're in Dominica, you know. America, most of Samoeka Day. Person pa pou faire Jean Dominique Copan, I am not talking in political sense, you know. You see right now?
Yes.
I'm making it my business. First of all, I need to say that I sat in class, and while I'm there, you know, kind of talking with, you know, having political discourse with other people. You know what? I'm like, okay, I know get in politics. I know our family in politics and whatever it is before and everything. So, you know what? The conversation steered towards, there are some people, they go all far left, that they actually fall over and they end up in their base. The United Workers' Party, this is you all situation today. And you all cannot come out. You all have gone down far. You all were enjoying the view. And you know what happened to you all? You all missed your exit. I will always say this. You all missed your exit. What happened in Haiti, you all should be denouncing that kind of a thing, because the potential for it happening with your garbage mindset is very easy. And that's why I believe in Dominica taking extra precautions. My actually comment is online on DNO. On DNO, you have a dirty habit of doing that to me. When I do not want to say who I am, because when you see I put certain comments online, DNO actually saves my comments, put everybody comment on.
They deleted
and
yours
you know
then?
What they do, they leave mine behind. They are used to doing that to me. Unless you are criticizing the current government or you are in favor in what they are, or, in line with what they are saying, I guarantee you your comment is not popular, even if it's the right one. Because generally my comments are actually in the middle, things I know. There are a lot of people who are following that nonsensical garbage. From 2017, 2018, the United Workers' Party people in the United States, I must start calling your name, You see, like Shirley Allen? I don't know if I've heard her before. Again, I'm not following the
I've not heard her for a while.
anymore.
I've not heard her for a while or seen any comments from her for a while.
I guarantee you all mouths will be shut. Ça c'est moun qui passe à parler encore. Dominicans need to know that. They cannot speak again. A lot of them don't have speech. You all need to understand this because of the garbage. They are not able to navigate that nonsensical garbage that they engage in the United States. Unfortunately for them, it's bad, and that is why the United Workers' Party followers pick another leader. You all need to do it. Listen to Julia Charles. I never wanted to mention my name on the radio, but I have to. Moi, c'est hot Guabe. Guabe, mon sorti, et pour ça, moi, kade ça. Vince Padet connaît ça, mais c'est famille, ouais. So, moi, ça, moi, kade. All right? They need to actually get a grip on themselves. I never wanted to actually mention my name on the radio. And DNO, you have me, ENBALA. This is my online name. You all engage in a lot of garbage in the United States. I am privy to it. This is why I tell people they have to be very careful with that party. That party is a party that have gone off. A lot of them cannot think for themselves. I got my ass caught up in that nonsense with them. Lucky for me, I'm able to navigate that nonsense.
Yes.
They do not understand it. A lot of people will not know that. And unfortunately for some of them, that's what happened to them. That party is down. They will never, ever win elections again. You all cannot do it. It's not the Labour Party doing you all anything. The United Workers' Party itself, they are the ones who are actually engaged in that nonsense. I know. And yes, today, actually, you know what is happening? I'm actually an architectural design and urban planning student here in the United States. You know what happened to Rijok? I am actually sitting here and I emailed this guy because of the nonsense he has. You know what he told me? Unless he does not see Roosevelt's carrot administration down, he won't stop. And it's not only that, caught him in that little snag and actually told him, you know what, I supported United Workers' Party. He was so nice. He was nice, and when I told him, you know what is happening? The problem about his email, when I told him, you know what is happening? I guarantee you, you are one of the people who is a repeat offender. It's a matter of time before you get caught. Because you show like you're a reformed criminal and you're not. And guess what? Because you cannot tell me because of the nonsensical garbage.
Right.
Guess what happened? I actually, he resorted. I didn't tell him our family members as soon as I did anything. You know what the guy did? The guy actually went, he emailed me back. Oh, yeah, because I am using my school's email address. I'm using my school's email address because when they're doing their nonsense, I'm like giving them the opportunity to jump into the government's database. So they'll be caught. That's what I'm letting them do. Guess what happened to him? He's like, you are one of the people who is paying for your school. You are one of the people the Skerrit administration has sitting in the United States and actually paying and living fat life in expensive condos and everything. Wow. You see? He does not know me from head to toe, but he has critiqued me already.
Yes.
And one thing I'm telling you, and trying to accuse me of that kind of a thing. That Haiti situation, Lennox Linton should actually denounce that thing. If these people, if they were leaders, these are the things they would be doing. Denouncing this kind of things instead. You intend to actually become a leader. Hopefully you wanted to get elected. You getting elected into government, no matter who Haiti's leader is or whatever is going on.
Yes.
CARICOM, these countries together. You would be sitting there, whether it is United Workers Party, Labour Party, or anybody. You will be sitting there with them discussing and, to address matters concerning the what is going on in the Caribbean.
Right.
Instead, you all are not. They need to get their acts together. So, pas again on election paper, c'est pas parce que mon Labour savent. Zo fait up caution là pour Jean-Dominique connaître ça, zo fait America qui fait zo perd élection. Look at the state of the Republican Party. Look at the state. This is what they were supporting and following. All the nonsensical garbage going on. Trevor, I know. Mokunet, Makatanzo, Moletanzo. And you know what? I'm going to make it my business to actually start listening to you all again. I like Bruno, he attacked me on whatever station because I was just asking him 2 questions. And normally I don't get you all online, often, so that is why I kind of taking up my little time to actually tell them that Haiti thing, people have to be very careful about it.
Indeed.
It is a serious thing, and I guarantee you the United Workers Party, the way they are going, actually, they are in some kind of a very dark spot. They are in a very dark spot that they actually cannot recover from unless they from the nonsensical garbage. Because just look at the guy. Some architect is talking about the airport, everything. Just look at what these people are thinking. I just cannot imagine people are actually thinking this. This negatively. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
It's very unfortunate.
It is.
It's very unfortunate. And I'm trying to do architectural, whatever it is, but architectural design, my second major is politics, man, and that is why I'm so fired up, because right now I did not understand the how you calling it, the political system in the United States. And that is what I'm trying to get myself into and understand it. Because a lot of these people, they do not understand what is going on. They don't understand it. They are just taking it from somebody else.
Yes.
They are just taking it from somebody else, and you have no idea what is going on. And there you are just following these people because you think they're educated, they are big leagues, they're running in circles with big people engaging in nonsensical garbage. You see, you have to be careful.
Indeed.
Gade cause.
Indeed.
Maka is a vote by United Workers Party, whatever, Pearson pass after ou pa vote pour qui moun ou ka vote.
That's right.
Si you engage in a caution, c'est ça qui pend. C'est ça qui pend. Yo sav sa mon kadi. Yo ça qui pend yo. Yo ka fait top caution. Good.
Thank you, man. Thank you, my dear. Yes, well said there. I always give you a chance to express yourself there because, you are certainly on point there. Can you imagine the time? It's 11 o'clock. How did time fly by so quickly there? Oh, my. The opposition. And that's a great point there raised by the caller. The violence is not something that the opposition condemn. They don't condemn violence. Even when Nicholas George made that statement, Linton should have said, Nicholas, we shouldn't go down that direction. But they lack it. They encourage, they are fascinated by violence. That's why the leader of the opposition would have been in Roseau videoing the activities that were taking place on the ground while he had his own supporters destroying private and public properties of persons who are known to be aligned to the Labour Party. They get happy when they see people blocking roads, burning down people's place, doing things that will appear to want to remove. And that's why when Matt Peltier asked Clinton the question in relation to, when will what was happening on the streets of Roseau come to an end? Oh, well, Matt Peltier, this will only come to an end when Mr. Skerrit demits office. So he wants to see violence, and they continue to call for violence. But, we are God-fearing people. God is on our side. We continue to pray that people will come to their common senses and realize that that is not the direction, they should follow. Violence doesn't bring anyone anywhere. This is a democratic country. We have election every 5 years. Every 5 years we have election. And this gives the citizens an opportunity to decide on a political organization that will lead their country for the next 5 years. The DLP, under the leadership of Prime Minister Skerrit, Dr. Skerrit, have always won because the DLP is delivering on its promises to the people. That's what the majority of Dominicans agree to. And that is what the opposition UWP have to learn to respect and accept. They must concede defeat because they have been defeated. And that is what it is. All this foolishness about accusing everybody, accusing the DPP, accusing this judge, accusing everybody of not seeing evidence when there is absolutely no evidence. The real evidence is that the electoral observers came down in the last election and accepted that the Labour Party won the election free and fair. And that what happened on that day was the will of the people. Those words were spoken. And the opposition is the only ones, and Lennox Clinton, who is leading that charge, even when he not put his name, are the ones who are propelling this thing. When I come back, we're going to, of course, give our final words. Got to take a quick break there. When I come back, we'll get right into it.
Hey, give him Donald, I wondering who shot Donald, I wondering who shot who. Give them galang dang dang, galang dang dang. Boy, when you win a game, the rules remain the same. One team to lose, one team to win. If ever you lose, you go home and dress your bruise. Come back again in another game. Hey, O'Donnell, you remind me of he. O'Donnell, swear you both a family. When you storm the capital building, then inside your bunker hiding, it's the same thing Uncle would do. When you incite violence, then claim your innocence, it's the same thing Uncle would do. Hey, O'Donnell, you brought back so much memory. O'Donnell, it's like you're patterning on we. Same thing Uncle would do. When you block and burn it up, same thing Uncle would do. When you push and mash it up, same thing Uncle would do. Lord, Donald, I want to know who shot who. Donald.
Yes, of course, this is where we got to come to an end of tonight's program. It's raining so much on the outside, my brother Clarence. I know you have to drive a bit way, of course, to get to your home. But it's always a pleasure having you, because your closing remarks as we come to the end of tonight's program.
Yes, Simeon, all I can say is good night. A very good program tonight. We will continue with that on next week. Mm-hmm. We will run under the same theme. It's a pity we couldn't say something about Chuck.
But Clarence, interestingly, we have to touch on that, but not tonight.
Not tonight.
On the next program, we have something queued up. I heard a response of Loftus Dura in relation to us asking whether he's on Chuck's payroll. Mm-hmm. And he said some things that we will definitely analyze, but we'll do that now next program.
So good night to all. I mean, I have to hit the road.
Yeah. Thank you again, Clarence, and again, thank you to Senior Counsel Anthony Asafan and the many other callers who called into tonight's program, and those of you who do not call, but you always listen. I want to thank you all for listening. It's always a pleasure doing this program for you. We got to make our way out of here. It's raining quite a bit on the outside from what I see. Of course, let's continue to remain positive. Let's continue to ask God for his guidance and his protection over our political leader, over our country, Dominica, over every cabinet minister and senator, and every person who is on the front line fighting COVID-19. We must continue to pray and ask God for his guidance over us as we go through this hurricane season, that he will protect us from any major natural disaster. We know that we saw the attempt of two of those, what you call tropical weather storms coming towards us. We were spared. We want to ask him to continue to spare us as we continue to work towards the development of our country. Thank you again to all of you who always listen, and some of you, I know you don't call, but you always listen. I want to thank you all for listening, and do have a wonderful night rest, a wonderful weekend. All the folks who join us on the Kyrie FM Facebook page tonight, I want to thank you all for joining us, and do wish you all a wonderful weekend, and stay safe, people, as we continue. We will definitely be here on Tuesday, if God spare our life, where we'll continue this discussion. In the meantime, my name is Simon Albert, saying to you, have a wonderful night rest, a wonderful weekend, and continue to stay safe, people. Stay safe. All right? God bless you. Remember, there is still COVID-19 out there. COVID-19, so wear your mask. Don't forget, no problem with wearing your mask. Always use your alcohol and keep yourself safe. We'll talk to you again on Tuesday, with God spare my life, when we get right back there. In the meantime, wishing you all the best, and leave you with none other than O'Donnell. O'Donnell, my favorite tune, yeah man, by Derek Hunter, St. Rose.
Hey, give him Donald, I wondering who shot Donald, I wondering who shot who. Give them galang dang dang, galang dang dang. Boy, when you in a game, the rules remain the same. One team to lose, one team to win. If ever you lose, you go home and dress your bruise. Come back again in another game. Hey, O'Donnell, you remind me of him. O'Donnell, swear you both are family. When you storm the capital building, then inside your bunker hiding, it's the same thing Uncle would do. When you inside violence, then claim your innocence, it's the same thing Uncle would do. Hey, O'Donnell, you brought back so much memory. O'Donnell, it's like you're patterning on we. Same thing Uncle would do. When you broke and burn it up, same thing Uncle would do. When you push and mash it up, same thing Uncle would do. Lord, Donald, I want to know who shot who. Donald, I want to know who shot who. Give me. Angalang dang dang, bang bang galang dang dang, bang bang galang dang dang. Lord, just that better. Playing world police in everyone business. Yes, you care police, your stinking business. The world look with awe as you rage your war, and like a hacksaw, you hacked through the law. Hey, O'Donnell, your planning was strategic. O'Donnell, you make lawmakers panic, right? When you storm the capital building, then inside the bunker hiding, it's the same thing Uncle would do. When you inside violence, then you claim your innocence, same thing Uncle would do. Hey, O'Donnell, you brought back so much memory. O'Donnell, it's like you're patterning on we. Same thing Uncle would do. When you block and burn it, a same thing. Uncle would do. When you push and mash it, a same thing. Uncle would do. Lord. Donald. Donald, oi. I want to know who. You know, Donald. Donald, oi. Donald. I want to know who.